Oh. There we go. That's a nice pleasant noise to make, that's why not. Turn the gas off, there we go. Boom diggity. There we go. Oh, boom a diggity. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, alright. Oh. That felt good. I don't need that here anymore. Let's have it ever so slightly on. Just a little bit. Better be that. Ah, dropping shit. No. No. I don't like that. That's a bunch of bullshit. Alright. Here, let's see. Let's see what we can add for background music. Let's fill the meantime, yeah? Oh, you know what? You can always trust. It's not bad audio. Here we go. Sweet. Sweet. There we go, cool. Hey, I like this. Yeah, this actually bumped up a lot louder than I thought. Damn. No, it does sound pretty fucking epic. There we go. This bolt loaded up. There we go. Sweet. Alright, let's get this bad boy smoked. Alrighty. There we go. holy shit. That's big. Hi, baby. Oh. You want this? Come here. Hey, baby. Atta boy. There you go. I'll just let you have it. See what's going on for the tube, check out some different shit, see if there's something available, news-wise, or lack thereof. You know what, actually there is some really awesome news. When I was on one of my breaks at work, I happened to tune into Onion Nuggets a little bit, and found out Germany legalized weeds. It's like, ooh. It's like, yay, Germany, you actually did something awesome for once. Well, I mean, Germany's been awesome for a while now. But they now have legalized the weeds. Oh. It's like, hell yeah. So, you know, honestly, this entire fat bowl will just go straight for Deutschland right there for, you know, enlighten themselves of weed and amazingness. I mean, shit, even our own federal government's starting to change its track a little bit, finally. Well, it's still probably going to take a while for us to do it, because, you know, we have to means test everything around here, you know, that fucking sack of shit of nonsense. However, though, we should be able to have that, you know, soon for ourselves as well. And by soon, I hope real soon, honestly, because I mean, just having these weird, like, little, like, hang-ups of just, like, you know, oh, you know, we are not exactly able to, you know, like, you know, have weed legal because of Schedule 1, or, you know, blah, blah, blah. So fuck off. Just give people what they want, damn it. As far as I'm concerned, just do that. Make a lot more sense, honestly. I think I'll build a rail line here. There we go. Cool. Then we'll build one more right here too. Just to kind of help expand with the rail lines here. There we go. Then add a connection right here. Sweet. Nice. Connective rail lines will definitely be useful. But, is there any way I could do that maybe around over here? Not really. Well, you know, actually, well, you know, no, it's not really much of a need. There's already a massive rail line here. Actually, there isn't one here, though, so we can actually get one going. Let's start up. There we go. mentioned, maybe. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that'll work. This one here, yes. There we go. Oh, no rail line here. Oh, wait, I can't build one. Oh, that's why, damn. Alright, sweet. Well, that should help out with some stuff. Okie dokie. Okay, there we go. What else? That. Okay. Okay, there we go. Doing a little Hearts of Iron gameplay right now, and actually making insane progress, but at the moment I am needing to figure a little something out here when it comes to doing some bullshit on advancing into certain enemy positions, because I got a lot of bullshit to do here. There we go. Capture St. Petersburg, and, well, I mean, it's not technically Stalingrad in the game anymore, but Stalingrad. Now, I just need to have a mass push to try to cut off the northern front lines here. So if I could do that, that'd actually be excellent. There we go, yeah. Fuck them up. Fuck some bitches up. There we go, yeah. Yeah, we're pushing, and pushing good. Sweet, they're all moving. There we go. As long as I can keep making my pushes, it should be aight. Let's move you guys way up north. There we go. Cool. Cutting through Kimball area now at this point, which has proven to be nice and successful so far. Because a lot of their troops are scattered and just outright cut the fuck off and have no real means to push. So they're all just kind of fucked. There we go. Oh, of course. There we go. Nice. Yeah, a lot of their troops are cut off around here. It was great. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Alright, what's going on up here? Or actually, more importantly, what about down here? And the Volga River, where Stalingrad is, well, it's now Zartsin, but man, it is rough fighting around here. Very little progress, but there is nonetheless though. Oh shit, I have the ability to do a massive like push and cut off a lot of supply routes here. We're gonna see if we can do that. Let's see if that's possible. There we go. We'll do this. Just do a fucking outright force push there in the spearhead. Okay. Ooh, excellent, excellent. Oh, I'm about to come back up on Armenia. Shit. Sweet, I'm about to come back on Armenia's border. Now we can fucking reclaim Armenia and bring that back. Hell yeah. And Georgia, too. Now these guys take out that pocket. That's all surrounded and cut off now. Oh yeah, Russia's got fucked on their western front. They're Dunskies, honestly. Oh man, they repelled evasion in England for near Vladivostok. Russia's kind of fucking some bitches up, but not enough to, you know, stop the progress. I'm getting pretty pushed back a little bit through fucking Laos, so that's not cool. And I see why, too. I'm gonna need to really eventually start building troops in a third army here in the south or something. I actually have an idea of who I'll send over there, frankly. I have a new army that was established that I can that hadn't hit the Caucasus, that I can have moved to Indochina afterwards. And I need to hit a fucking airbase or some shit, because goddamn Japan keeps fucking my shit up with these fucking planes that they have in the Philippines. I can't do much to that, which is bullshit. Let's see, what else can be done in the meantime here? I think as long as this push can be made here in the south, I think it'd be alright. Alright, as long as we can get some of these troops cut off. Let's see. So here, let's try to cut them off and make a pinch point here at Astrakhan, because I know that can be done. There we go. It's still like a fat pocket. Alright. What about up here? Oh, sweet. Fuck yes. Yeah, we're definitely kicking some ass now. I know how to take out the trash. Fuck you. For some reason I have a notification, even though I don't really have a reason for it. Let me know. It's like, hey, take out the garbage. And it's at 11. I just like, I don't know why it does that. I already know this. It's already been done for the most part. There's like some recycling in my room, but our recycle bin isn't full, so it doesn't exactly really need a serious hardcore recycling push or anything. Oh, we could create another pocket. Let's do it. Yeah, Russian forces are just getting creamed up here in the north. I'll push you guys this way. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, I see some excellent going on right here. Let's see if we can get it going. Alright. Excelente. Turn that down just a tad. Let's see what else down on tube at the moment. I'll get this a little bit. Chat looks different now. The chat looks different? Okay, now I'm curious. What, did YouTube like change how the chat looks now or something? Because honestly, at least from what I was seeing in live, yeah, corners around it. Huh. Weird. Here, let me see. Huh. Mod desktop. Oh, okay. Well, that would explain it. I'm on mobile, so yeah, it ain't making much of a difference. It just looks all boxy and square. But that's just because, well, you know, mobile. It needs to look more boxy and corporate on mobile. Well, desktop's gonna look all nice and rounded, but still corporate. It's like, ew. Either way, it still looks very corporate. And it's lame. And that just truly does suck, indeed. There you go, that felt pretty nice, good. Let's see. What are the two going for? Oh, you know what? I could just use the onion nuggets as like a little cheat. Because they peruse the news. I only tuned in enough to basically like have them just talk about weed being legal in Germany. And then I tuned in again later about like some lady, some grandma in Indonesia who got eaten by a python. Which is like, oh god, that's unfortunately not unheard of. There's been multiple stories about people literally getting eaten for fucking pythons and shit. Literal man-eating snakes. Feel the blood of your ancestors run through your little one as you tear the corpse you play. Just fucking that thing up. Let me see this little dude. Yeah, get him, little guy. Yeah, little guy. Yeah. Yeah, bro. You got it. I don't even see an ass. Yeah. Oh, he's purring, too. He's loving every second of it. He's trying to get to all that fat, too. That kitten's like, fuck you! Get away with it! It's mine! Aww. Dude, oh my god, as soon as it like walks up to it, it's like, I'm going to immediately start purring, because this is bliss. Dude, that kitten was going ham on that thing, like a Viking ready to like feast on like a fucking boar's leg or something. At least it was trying to do that. Once it becomes an adult cat, oh, it will definitely be able to be doing that. I like how it just gives us like an ass shot though. It's like, yeah, here's some booty. It's like, what? Let's see here. What can be done in the northern front? Move you there. Fucking stop them from all running around. What a little kitten will end up as. Let's see. Oh shit. Oh my goodness, that is a chonker. Now that's a chonk. But that is a big kitty. I actually saw the kitty on my walk on my way to work. It's actually a cat I'm familiar with. I've seen around the neighborhood before. And it's owned by like somebody down the street or some shit. But that's muscle. I know, that is straight up a fucking chonky muscle cat. I mean chonk in like muscle. Like, I mean chonk, you know, being chonky doesn't necessarily mean you're all like fat or nothing. I mean, it can mean like a big muscly boy, you know what I mean? Chonk full of muscularness. Because you're just so jocked out full of that chonk. I'll be disappointed if that's not the beat. I feel like it is. Wait, where's that one? Oh, there. Oh, okay, cool. I actually really pushed. Excellent, excellent. We'll have you move. Ooh, move this way, yeah. How to move north. There we go. Yeah, I can. Yeah, at some point I'll show the progress of what I got going. Oh fuck yeah! Got back in Armenia. Sweet. Fuck yes. Alright. Let's show what's going down over here real quick. This is what I'm like doing off in the side here. Been doing a massive fucking like frontal push here and shit with Russia as the French commune and shit. And sure, I'll take a pause of the fucking advancements and everything. Let me just show you via the factions. So the Internationale, me. Yeah, we're pretty much like all of Europe, basically. And it's like Russia, China, formerly Japan. The reason why that is the case because America invaded that bitch. That's America now. But Japan hasn't capitulated because they still have Korea, parts of China, the Philippines. So Japan hasn't like collapsed as a government. Their capital is technically right here, Toyohara. England's trying to do a naval invasion for some reason up there, but it kind of failed. And yeah, I'm actually kind of getting fucked up down here in Indochina. This shit's been a fucking constant back and forth. That's annoying. And but over here though, it's like cutting through this bitch like butter. There's the 43 to 44 winter. As you can see, it's like 44 now. Like that was a really major slog fest. Like supplies getting to people and shit, you know, were getting difficult. Troops had little equipment. Fucking organization was bad. Like it was a slog fest, but held out on the front lines enough to not, you know, lose any ground. And when the summer came back and the spring came back and all the snow went away, at least in the game and shit, a lot of my supplies started making more replacements to my troops and shit, and that turned the tide a lot more. And my spearheads are actually pulled off now. I did a few spearheads as spring started turning, and that actually really did help turn it around. Dude, brush your teeth. My dude's gums are about to burst since he smells like doo-doo. I haven't flossed or brushed since March of this year. Not perfectly straight obvious, because I didn't. What? Oh my god. Why? No, dude. Like, I mean, I don't like brush my shit every fucking day, but I at least do it like, I don't know, every other day at the very least. Like I usually have a toothpick to kind of pick my shit at the very least. Like, I mean, you gotta at least take care of your shit a little bit here, you know. It's like, oh man, I don't have the greatest fucking dental hygiene, but shit, I at least got something going on. Fuck. And also, why does Gubs look like they got, like, fucked up? Like, they look inflamed. Like, they actually look like they're infected. Twice a day, floss at night for me. Not one cavity. Yeah, I had one when I was, like, 8. But that was also, you know, like, probably because I had a lot of sugary shit. But, I mean, honestly, like, the last cavity that I had was, like, I think it was, like, up here somewhere, but it was so small that it was something that just a quick little filling would fix it. So, that's pretty much the last time I got one, which was, like, years ago. But that was back when I had, like, fucking braces, and that was, like, back in fucking high school. So, been a long time since I've had to deal with a cavity. No, I will say, though, I think I got one, like, right here on this tooth. That's right behind this front one. I think I might have one right there. So, if so, definitely want to get it filled before it gets any worse. So, And I think a lot of that's just due to the fact that it's just like where that part of the tooth is like positioned. It's kind of hard, to kind of get there and clean. So outside of flossing, but like I said, I don't floss all the time either. So that's probably it. Like I said, my dental hygiene isn't great, but I at least try to take care of my shit. And if I do got one there, I mean, I don't notice it at all. Like, I ain't got no pains going on. If anything, like, the only pains I have in my mouth are the occasional, like, wisdom tooth, kind of moving around a little bit. Just kind of filling itself in more properly. But I surprisingly apparently have really good wisdom teeth, apparently, because at least according to the orthodontist that I was dealing with my fucking braces and shit, he said that, like, my wisdom teeth were coming in so nicely that I probably didn't need to have them taken out. And he was saying that, like, yeah, they'll probably hurt and stuff, while you're, having them on and shit, but, or while they're, getting in there, but yeah, they'll come in, pretty healthily and stuff, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, well, still gonna hurt apparently, but at least that's nice. I mean, which it is, it's nice to know that they're not gonna be all, like, janked out and fuck with my shit, so. Which, from what I could tell, they don't. It just kind of fucks with my gums every now and then, and occasionally there might be, like, a slight inflammation on one of my gums, but as long as I just, don't fuck with it, it usually goes away. Trying to think where I can try to do a serious push here, but I'm struggling to see where I actually... Oh, actually, no, right here. How am I going to do it, though? I don't really got the... fuck. Do this. We'll do that. Yeah. Really push up. Okay, there we go. Hopefully that should help. Alright, there we go. That should help it out. Oh, you. Yeah, move this way. Okay. That ought to do it. He needs to put... Yeah, at the very least, that dude really needs to at least just do some brushing. Oh, and mouthwash, too. At the very least, having a little bit of mouthwash in there at least once a day, I think, can help, stem a lot of bullshit, too. As long as you're, like I said, as long as you're at least, like, brushing at the minimal every other day, and then at least, like, getting some mouthwash, in there at least once a day and shit, I mean, it should be alright. I mean, like I said, you probably aren't going to have the most excellent, dental health, but you ain't going to have to worry about, like, fucking most retarded ass dental bills and shit because you just straight up didn't take care of them. Because having, like, every 6 months of a dental cleaning and having to pay, like, a little fee for that is definitely far better than fucking having to pay, like, $1,000 or so fucking, like, cavity thing or some shit, you know what I mean? Certain situations are just, like, better, dealt with, just at least on a very minimal level, because, obviously there's going to be people who are lazy or just don't have the time or just, for whatever reason, just aren't as, up on it, so to speak. I mean, like I am. Like, I, can definitely take better care of it, but, sometimes I'm just, like, too much in a rush, so that's why I am at least every other day. And if I do, I usually try to do it at night. Because then whatever, like, bacteria is or whatever shit's, kind of building up, throughout the day isn't actually, consistently staying, fucking building up. So then it ends up not being, like, fermenting. And that's because that's usually is when, like, shit really, develops up badly. Like, if you got, potential cavity or, like, a potential infection in your mouth, like, when it starts, really... like, building up is when you, essentially, like, are asleep. So, you definitely want to, like, at least put some mouthwash and try to brush, especially at night. I think that's the best time to do it. Like, if you have, like, morning breath, you know, I mean, especially if you think about it, like, when you are doing it at night, and then you wake up in the morning, like, morning breath will nowhere be near as bad. What's up? He didn't bark. I think he was just all, like, knocked out. He's all like, oh, let me stretch out. Ugh.
Hey, baby.
Bro, my old boss used to brush his teeth at work. When I was in elementary school, I knew teachers and administrators that would do that unironically. Why? Don't fucking know. But they did. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Bosses are weird, man. They truly are. Bosses are truly a weird group of individuals. Sweet, Armenia has basically just been, like, totally, like, liberated all over again. That's awesome. Sweet.
You took my glass.
Oh, it's over here.
Okay.
Don't worry, it's safe.
I would have been pissed.
Don't worry, I haven't done anything with it. I mean, it's got, you know, old drink residue in it, but that's...
Oh, you used it?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Because I needed a glass, and I was like, oh, you know, there is a Jim Beam glass, I'll just use that.
Henry's got a Jim Beam glass, I know he does.
Yeah. But no, I didn't let anything happen. I just had it chilling right here, where it'll be safe.
How's work?
It wasn't too bad. It was pretty slow as hell. Marta came by to, you know, for a couple hours to cover our lunches and stuff. Just because, why not? Basically coming in, stopping by, say hello and shit, essentially. It's always good shit. Yeah, alright. Come on. We can do it. Let's go. Boom. Also just developed night vision tech as a research thing, so that should also really help me when it comes to nighttime ops.
Hey!
Sukov, what are you doing? You goofy boy. Oh shit. Sweet, I just cut him off. Excellent. Alright, time to move these motherfuckers this way. To really seal the deal. Nice, nice, nice. Excellent. Oh my god, I am just piercing through everything. Yes! I'm loving that. Sukov, bye-bye.
I don't want to get up. I've been on my feet all fucking day, you fucker.
Zooks, what are you doing?
Being a dick, he wants to go in and fucking my shit.
Oh, I know. I know how he likes to be. That little son of a bitch. Bosses really are weird. I also found out my store director has a Tesla. I also found out, at least part of the reason why she hasn't actually been in the store lately, is because she, at least shortly after that whole walker bullshit, is because she apparently somehow got in an accident with that. I'm just like, well, that's why I don't trust Teslas. Just like, what the fuck? Of course. At least it didn't, like, combust or burst into flames. That actually would have sucked. Because Teslas are also known for having that happen.
I think I just broke the light. I think I just broke the light.
Ow.
I don't know.
Looks fine. It's still on.
Oh.
What's up, baby? What's up, boo boo? What? What's up, little sweet boo? Oh my god. You goof. I love you too, bro. But what is it? What do you want? What do you want, bro? What, do you want to just be up here? Come up here. Get up here. Up. God, you're a freak. You don't know what you want, man. He doesn't know what he wants. He's like, I'm confused. What do I do? I not know what I do. Bro, what? Can I help you? Up here. There you go. Oh my God, now you're dropping my shit. Thanks. Alright, up here. Come on. Oh my God, see? You goof. Yeah, hi. Oh my God, see. Hello. Hello, boy. You puppy. Look at you. Oh my goodness, you're such a weirdo. You're such a weirdo. Look at you. Look at you. You're such a goof. Ah! Slap me in the face with your fucking ears? Are we serious? Are you serious, bro? Oh. Okay. Whoa, hey. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What do you want? What do you want to be on the lap like in totality here? Jesus Christ! I guess he does. I guess he does. He wanted this. He wanted this. You can't exactly get comfortable on me, bro. Oh, he's gonna try. Oh my God. You're not a lap dog. Oh. Well, yeah, you're not a lap dog, bro. This doesn't exactly work. My God, you goofball. You're trying so hard, but you're just failing at the same time. Oh, buddy. You're not going to be able to make this work. You goof. You goofball. Up here. Paw. Stand up. Papas. There you go. Seriously? Now you're knocking my unopened tea? Okay, what am I gonna do with this dog? What am I gonna do with this absurd boy? For he is indeed an absurd one. So ridiculous. Get this ball loaded up. Then we'll check out what's on tube and see what's up. See what fun little things are going on. I could just check out, see what shit was going on here, and I guess that I didn't check out, or was not able to tune into because of work. Curses to work. And usually when I'm scheduled, my breaks don't exactly align for when the show starts. It's like, damn it, I hate that shit. It's like, boo. Alright. Let's get ourselves another little bowl loaded up while I have fun and shit. Was it pretty slow for you two at work at all today? Fine. Fuck you too. See how it is. I see how it is. Jerk. Jerk. Wow. Wow, I see how it is. Boo. There, There's another woman that accuses Ursula Walker about doing an abortion. Wow, I'm not surprised. Not surprised. It's like the dude, you know, for being a supposed family man, is not exactly, you know, got the whole family values thing on lock whatsoever. In fact, he pretty much seems like he wants to do everything to desanctify that whole idea, which frankly I'm okay with. I don't really care, but for someone who, you know, claims to be a hyper pro-life type of dude, not really so much, it seems. You just gotta love the hypocrisy of these pieces of shit. And honestly, a lot of it is just because, you know, a lot of these conservatives, I guarantee, are just like, oh, this is just like the media just trying to defile his name, and it's just a bunch of bullshit. Even though there's nothing about it as bullshit. Like, it's not only, you know, has, you know, these women been coming out, but even his own kid. Or at least one of his kids. At least one of the many that were, yeah, at least the one that we're aware of out of who knows how many that he has. Because I know at least we're aware of a couple, but who knows? Herschel Walker probably has at least, like, you know, 10 probably wandering around from all sorts of different women. But with that in mind too, that means he probably also has like a lot of abortions, you know, that he's made women do too. So that just means that, like, you know, these two are just, you know, probably only the surface, you know, of what, like, he's done. Which unfortunately just seems like, you know, he might win anyway because, oh, well, we can't have a damn socialist liberal type, you know, like Warnock in there. Rather the devil I know than the one I don't know. Or some shit. Clock with Exploding Pickles MC. Exploding Pickles? Explosive Pickle? Explosive Pickle Diarrhea? Explosive Pickle Diarrhea. I would be sad if that MS somehow beats Warnock. Unfortunately, it probably will be the case because it's fucking Georgia. I mean, Warnock isn't exactly great, but especially for Georgia, he's fucking like 1,000 times better than especially, you know, than any real Republican, let alone Herschel Walker. So, probably the weakest Senate candidate I've ever seen. Yeah. I mean, for real. I mean, a lot of it's just because he's legitimately and just not mentally fit to, like, run, like, you know, like, run for the presidency of the Lollipop Guild, let alone fucking, like, the Senate or some shit. It's like that dude could barely string a cohesive sentence, and that's just, it's not even because he's, like, you know, somehow, like, old as fuck. It's just because he's literally been smashed in the head one too many times when playing football. Well, you know, I'll go on you know, gets use that. See what was on 2 p.m. for the day. Ukraine war rant. Kanye uses ability and creates video game ads and more. Ooh, all sorts of stuff. Oh boy. Cool. Alright. There we go. Oh baby Zuka boy, what you doing? What are you like exploring over there, huh? God, what a dork. What a dorky little dog. Funny enough, my dad was actually like mentioning while I was on my lunch about like maybe using him to help him like go walk up and down the street a little bit. And he was asking me, it's like, do you think he'll like drag me along and just like, you know, like basically just like, you know, cause me to fall over, just drag me instead? I'm like, no one's Zukov, probably, because sometimes I have, you know, I have trouble keeping him in line sometimes, unless I have him on a short leash. It's a little easier. Actually, now I just thought about it, I think, you know, as long as he has him like kind of on a shorter leash, should be alright. But knowing Zukov though, he's gonna be a little wacko, and I have a weird feeling that my dad will literally fall over and shit just because of his ass. You're a little menace. Look at you. Ah, whoops. What the hell? There we go. Oh, Ripsody, did you hear that Germany is having some recreational lead? The German federal government's just like, oh yeah, that's marijuana? Oh yeah. We can recreationally legalize that. Biden's attempt at student debt cancellation moved Roski to the left. He's hella pissed at the GOP for blocking it. Well, I'd imagine anybody who's just been to school for even a little bit of time and accumulated debt, you know, he would just, you know, be like, yeah, like they would be pissed. Yeah, Germany, isn't that what the sock dem's ran on? I think so. I got no clue. I don't pay that much attention to German politics. I know Germany, especially since Merkel's been gone, has actually been pretty based. So, all in all, I know that, you know, Germany's been, you know, kind of kicking ass. And also, like, for the longest time, I mean, I think at least, especially since the early 2000s, Germany's basically been, like, the European economic powerhouse. So, I mean, you know, I'm not necessarily too surprised. Other than the weed legalization. Yeah, I mean, it's, like I said, I don't know too much about German politics, and it's just more or less, you know, just like different little blips I see. Which honestly, it might be more like the regional, like, you know, politicians that are probably doing shit. Because it's more like, you know, oh, this candidate in this region of blah, 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 you know, whatever the fuck. Yeah, so. And also I know, like, German anti-fascists and shit, and German anarchists tend to be very radical. I've seen, you know, some shit they've done, you know, in this past year that's been pretty fucking based, so. I mean, it's not necessarily maybe their government, but, like, you know, Germany's kind of taken a little bit more of a left uptick, a little bit. I know England, I guess, has like a dude who's richer than the fucking royal family now as prime minister, who's also, I guess, the first Indian prime minister too, or some shit. I don't know how they manage that. They got a minority in office as PM, but they're also the most richest fuck. And it's just like, huh? I see too long to TLDR videos on it every once in a while. Germany's way too reliant on fossil fuels. Yeah. I think somehow even worse than Truss. Well, I don't know. I don't know anything about him. All I know is that I guess he's like the first brown prime minister / like Indian prime minister. And richer than the royal family. Apparently it's like worth 430 million something fucking like euros or pounds or whatever the fuck. Which I guess apparently is worth more than the royal family. Which I kind of have a press X to doubt. But, you know, I guess when it comes to more direct assets, I guess, sure. But, I mean, just out of like, you know, outside of that though, the royal family is far more richer. So it's like, maybe it's just like, you know, the net worth of like the new king or whatever the fuck versus him. But apparently he's richer than those people. Which, again, I really don't know how you manage that. I would never think the royal family would have had, you know, someone richer than them, you know, being in their country. It's like, what, you're richer than us? King Incest of 19th is definitely a billionaire. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like maybe in certain assets here and there, maybe it doesn't necessarily count to the net worth, but I guarantee you that motherfucker is not just a billionaire, but probably a multi-billionaire. Because if you take all like the collective like jewels and art pieces and like pots and like fucking all sorts of random things they've literally had stolen from different countries and different places they've unironically have like oppressed and put their British fucking Union Jack on, like in India, China, and, you know, basically just, you know, have them all hoarded up in their little royal palace and shit. Which is also the reason why, you know, a lot of people tend to be, you know, like, hey, you know, have these, you know, artifacts go back to the, you know, countries of their origin and shit, and then let them put them in their museums. Which, I'm fine with that, honestly. I actually know China, like, their government actually is, or at least some people within, like, the higher-ups of the government, or at least, you know, in coordination with them or influence with them, or at least just very influential, wealthy people in China have actually kind of like under the rug have kind of orchestrated these like heists and shit that are straight up like Mission Impossible type of shit. Like they'd break into these like these like royal palaces or these like royal museums and shit like that in like Sweden, Norway, the UK, shit like that. And they would steal these artifacts, but not just any artifacts, specifically the Chinese section of all of their artifacts. So all these different like Chinese artifacts, Chinese pottery, you know, art pieces, etc., all that was stolen. But literally everything else, like, you know, the Swedish, you know, artifacts or like, you know, different European artifacts and shit like that, that was left untouched, and in fact didn't even look like it was even like interfered with at all. Which kind of basically leads to, you know, the first time it happened was in Sweden, I think back in like 2012 or 2013 or something like that, or maybe 2014, it was early 2010s, and people thought, oh, this was probably like some one-off thing. But then, like, it happened again, and then it happened again, and then I think it happened like a fourth time or some shit. And, you know, up until this point, which basically implies that there's like an organized group that's been specifically finding, you know, where a lot of these like Chinese artifacts and shit are at these museums, and specifically taking those and bringing them back to China. Because if they're like, well, if we can't bribe these governments to bring them back, we'll just steal them. So that's pretty much just like what they're thinking, and it's like, well, base question mark. So, like, I mean, it's like, I honestly don't know. I guess, you know, I guess it's up to the interpreter on that one. I guess in a way I think it is, because, like, I mean, you know, like, you know, because, like, I mean, if, like, let's say if, like, Native Americans were able to, like, organize some shit like that and take, like, you know, artifacts from museums and shit that had all their shit, and then just, like, you know, brought it back to their, you know, to their own shit, basically, and their own people and stuff, like, at least for me, personally, I'd be like, I can understand, you know, so, you know, at least for me, I guess the methods are questionable, and I probably don't necessarily agree with, but at least when it comes to, you know, the reasoning for it, I can get it. I wonder what countries would actually consider selling themselves to a billionaire. I have this game, so here, let me think. Thailand, Malaysia, probably. Fucking, let's see. I would say maybe, like, fucking, like, Romania or some shit, or Croatia, just because they're basically already ran by the fucking mob. Probably not Malaysia either. I don't know, I say Thailand because they're already, like, owned by a royal family. If they're willing to, like, you know, sell themselves to a billionaire to invest in the royal family and themselves there, then, yeah. The United Arab Emirates, because they're all a bunch of rich billionaire fucks anyway, and they already kind of do that anyway. Qatar, they already kind of do that. Wealthy royal family. Well, that's what I mean. You know, it's just like, hey, we'll just be buddy-buddy inclusions of another billionaire to prop us up. I mean, they already kind of, it's like, I'm just naming countries that kind of, like, already either do this or fucking, you know, like, already are that to themselves. It would cost so much for the UAE to be feasible. Djibouti? Or Djibouti? Is that what it's called? Djibouti? Or whatever, maybe? Somalia, just because they're literally ran by, like, fucking random, like, warlords and pirates, so maybe just on the virtue of, like, hey, like, a billionaire investing in a bunch of fucking, like, elitist, like, billionaire guards to deal with this, you know, like, I don't know. I mean, it's a stretch, but I don't know, doubt it. Eritrea, yeah, doubt it, too. I was going to say Liberia, but they basically have been since they were first founded, because America and Goodyear Tire, so there's no point in mentioning that. You know what, I'm keeping it to Africa, Asia, and Europe here. Let's go fucking, yeah, here we go. South America, maybe. I mean, maybe Brazil. Maybe. Maybe one of these Caribbean countries. Maybe one of the Caribbean countries, maybe? I don't fucking know. I doubt it, but maybe. I wouldn't be able to tell you which ones, honestly, but maybe one of those. What about over here? What about down over here, yonder? Yeah, nothing? No? Yeah. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else. Fucking, I don't know, like, Dagestan or some shit. Yeah, there's not really much I can think of. Oh, maybe, where's, like, the fucking, like, gate of hell, or, like, the pit of hell, or whatever it was called? I think it's in Turkmenistan. I mean, they kind of already are a little bit as it is, but it's just literally because, like, the dude who runs the country essentially just, you know, runs it as his own little playhouse, basically. He actually drove around in a fat-ass doom buggy around the whole, like, pit of hell thing, and that was actually kind of cool, though. I imagine you know, for most of the country, it's horrible, but, I don't know, he looks like he'd be kind of, you know, interesting to vibe with, and be like, hey, what's up? You seem interesting. Let's see here. Yeah. You know, it'll cut off there. Yep. Wait. Why you chilling? No chill. Flex, yeah. Here. I'm trying to think, is there legit like any other country? Possibly? Yeah, not really. Yeah, I'm not seeing any other like, you know, country potentially here. Oh. Maybe Malta? Just because, I don't know, it's already kind of like a little rich fuck haven anyway. Same with, like, some of these other weird, like, little Italian island city-state things. It's just, if Sicily was its own fucking country, like, it, you know, like, I could see that because of its history of being, you know, literally having the Sicilian mob. So I don't know if it was if that little island, you know, at the boot of Italy was its own thing, I could see that, but it's not. So yeah, I don't see that either. But yeah, Malta a little bit. For some reason, I want to like say like Corsica or Sardinia, but I don't. I feel like they'd be too populated, and people would be like, "Oh, fuck this," and would not be happy about that. Not Lebanon. I mean, maybe, but I doubt it. Too much fucking shit going on there, honestly. It's like, you got Israel there, you got fucking Syria with their shit. Like, yeah, no. I'm sorry, I thought about that for a minute. If it was like, if nothing was going on around that, like, with their neighbors and shit, I could see it, but yeah, it's too much shit. Yeah, I've not really seen much. Like, I could probably think of some random-ass African countries just on the sheer fact that, like, they would have very little power to basically say no outside of just, like, alright, yeah, help invest in our shit or something. Like, I mean, I could see any of these various African countries potentially, but that's... It would just really depend on, like, what's going on in the specific affairs of these countries, I guess. I know, like, Nigeria and, like, Niger and, you know, around there and around this place and shit, like this region in Africa is like kind of all fucked up because of like Boko Haram and stuff. So I mean, I don't know if that would have like an impact of like, oh yeah, a billionaire with his private guards help us or something, you know, but I doubt that. But I could see that also for a resource investment and shit too, because that's what we did with Liberia, because we essentially did that as a country. Aaron, you know what? Yeah, here, let's do this, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of fucking rubber all over, you know. Yeah. Like, honestly, yeah, just a lot of these various different African countries I could see, because basically, historically, they were already like that. I mean, we already kind of, like, when America was like, or not just America, but, like, the West, you know, coming in here and shit. Be like, yeah, we're just gonna have, like, a capital enterprise here. We're setting up shop, fuck you. One thing I will tell you, though, is that, like, you know, a lot of these indigenous peoples and their kingdoms and tribes and shit, they put up a hell of a fucking fight. Like, one big example is just look up Shaka Zulu. Like, that dude's fucking based. It's like, yeah, British might have nice, fancy, you know, fucking breech-loading rifles and shit, but, you know, enough dudes with spears and shields, you know, they'll fuck you up, dude. And plus, if you take out enough, you know, British guys with guns, then you have those guns. But they're not civilized enough to know how to use them. It's like, hey, it ain't hard to fucking point weapon and shoot. And that part itself ain't that hard. And figuring out the rest ain't that hard to figure out either. Besides, those, like, shields that they would have are actually pretty... They're like hide shields they would normally use, and funny enough, they're actually pretty durable. Like, they obviously wouldn't necessarily stop a fucking bullet, but, I mean, when it came to, like, you know, when it came to more, like, spear on bayonet type of battles and shit, like, they actually end up being pretty durable. And, of course, with their fucking sheer numbers, like, you know, they might, you know, the British were probably able to get a decent amount of volleys, but it would be nowhere near enough, you know, to actually take out the entire fucking, you know, army of Zulus coming at you. Because once it gets to that hand-to-hand combat, they're fucked. Because that's where the Zulus, you know, heavily outmatch the British. But not just the Zulus either, but it was all sorts of different, like, African tribes and kingdoms that are like that. Of course, there was a lot of them that did collaborate with, Western powers and shit, because to them it was like, oh, this is more in our better interest to do this. We get more money and we also get guns and they train us instead of having to figure it out ourselves. Complicated historical mess. Yay. Look at you. You're so cute. Why are you being so cute? Why are you so cute? Goofy ass little fluff ball. What? 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 You're a goofball. Okay, what? You're staring at me, like, really intensely. What's up? What? What, dog? What, Doge? Oh my god. This fucking dog. Can I help you? I don't need you giving me the stare of death. I know what it was. Oh, what's the last one anyway? Fuck it. Here you go. Little jerk. That's what he'll get. Here. Here, let's see. Well, some of this here is something I noticed I haven't caught up on yet. Where's the start of this? There it is. Whoa. Cool. Let's see what this article is. Putin watches first Russian nuclear drill since invasion of Ukraine. Oh god. Oh, that's reassuring. Is that where the rant came from?
Putin watches first Russian nuclear drill since the invasion of Ukraine. Ukraine.
Ukraine.
Ukraine. Pardon me. Excuse me.
Pardon the French.
Little Freudian slip there. The Ukraine. So yeah, just as I'll read a little bit of this, but this is basically just more we're slipping closer and closer to nuclear war news. Vladimir Putin is overseeing annual exercises by Russia's strategic nuclear forces at a time of heightened tensions with the West over his 8-month-long war in Ukraine. Yeah, I remember reading too. I didn't pull it for this.
It's only been 8 months so far. I mean, I guess it has. It's only been since February. But, man, I will admit, it feels like it's been longer than that.
Shit.
Hasn't it? It feels like it's been like a year now. It's been like well over a year since that war's been going on.
The minister said that they'd uncovered some kind of plot in Ukraine to set off a dirty bomb and then blame it on Russia. So, either that could be true, like I wouldn't be shocked if that was absolutely 100% true, and I also wouldn't be shocked if it was Russia coming out ahead of it so that they can use that as a pretext to defend themselves after they set off a nuke or a dirty bomb or something. So.
Well, I mean...
Oh god, so now there's like a dirty bomb plot? Oh Jesus fucking Christ. Oh boy, so now it's just like, well, it's either like Russia fabricating one, so they are doing it, or, oh, Ukraine's doing it so they can fabricate Russia doing it. It's like, oh god, oh Jesus fucking Christ. That has to be put into the fucking equation now? Are we kidding me?
Obviously, Russia is looking at their position.
I mean, it really don't matter, like, who's really doing it. Just the fact that that's just now, like, oh yeah, this is now, like, an open possibility. Fucking negotiate. Because war profiteers are making too much money off of this war. That's why. I mean, fundamentally, that's the main reason why. Like, I mean, there's just, I mean, unfortunately, because war profiteers, you know, especially considering that, you know, like, money and weapons and equipment are getting sent to Ukraine pretty much at least, like, every month at this point. You know, or at least every other month, it seems. It, like, I mean, it's just too much profit for war profiteers and war investors, you know, or those who invest in war, you know, to stop it. I mean, that's pretty much just the main reason why. Because war's a racket.
We're definitely slipping.
Too many people make money off of it.
We don't want to,
including in Russia, despite how economically fucked they've been.
Invade and just steamroll the Ukraine. That was just going to be it. It was going to be, I mean, wherever you thought.
Because the arms manufacturers of Russia, I mean, they're still making, you know, their little cut out of it, because they're still making guns, they're still, you know, making parts for their shit, for at least their newer equipment, and they're still making ammo for all their fucking guns, so it's just like, I mean, even their war, you know, manufacturers of war industrialists are, you know, making their own little profit out of it, too. They're just hoping they can also get, like, an ideological and diplomatic and geopolitical gain out of it as well. Which, that sure shit ain't gonna be happening at this rate, all things considered, but, yeah, you know, but at the same time, there ain't no fucking, you know, push for peace whatsoever. Yeah, at this rate, yeah, setting up a border and a DMZ is really just the best case scenario. Like, I mean, honestly, I will admit it's gonna look all fucked up right now just because of my current gameplay at the moment. But here, let me take the screen down for a second. Wait, hold on. There we go. Here. So, anyway, I got my own game going on, but yeah, so I have Ukraine being a thing, right? So, obviously, like, you know, Russia, you know, it's Crimea. Pretty much, like, as far as I'm aware, like, Russia essentially has, you know, like, pretty much, like, here to, like, you know, from, like, here and here, basically, essentially. And then, like, maybe, like, some, like, and then, like, you know, these regions around here, essentially. And obviously, modern-day Russia is, you know, like, here, you know, like, where those outlines are, you know, clicking with these provinces, right? So, you know, that, like, well, I guess besides that. But, like, you know, well, that too. You know, this is, like, where it's Russia controlled. It's, like, at this rate, have a DMZ set up, here, like, right there, there, and here, and here, and here. And here, like, literally just make, like, half of fucking Ukraine a goddamn DMZ. Like, seriously. Like, I mean, and then have Russia have a DMZ set up in their own area. Like, you know, in these regions surrounding Ukraine. And in Crimea. And in the Azov Bay. Like, have a big DMZ zone. Like, seriously. Just, like, have it, you know, be, you know, like, something, because, like, the fuck, you know, else is there really you're gonna be able to do? Like, I mean, because at that rate, if there's a violation of the DMZ, that's an international interest then, not just fucking Ukraine and Russia interest. So it's like, at that point, you know, it would be a very detrimental, you know, issue to violate that. So obviously by that point, unless Russia decides to violate that and go all in with the chips, which, at least with Putin, I guess, who fucking knows, maybe. Like, you know, it's like, that's at least, you know, from what I understand, would probably be the best case scenario. And then just, you know, like, have, like, a intermittent, like, you know, 1 year or, like, 4 to month time period or some shit to, you know, like, figure out, like, a way to have a vote set up, you know, in their, like, Luhansk and Donetsk regions with the people, you know, who fled by, you know, figuring out where they are from, where they, whether they're, like, Kiev or Poland or wherever, you know, and have them either online or, you know, sent to them via, like, a mail or some shit, you know, like, you know, about, like, hey, you know, do you want, like, Luhansk to be independent, or do you want it to still be, you know, a province of Ukraine? Or whatever the fuck, or a province of Russia, like, have, like, 3 options or some shit. But, like, obviously, but there should be at least a time period, so, you know, obviously you don't just send them all, you know, in the domestic region, that's it, because obviously most people there in Russia, in Donetsk and Luhansk right now, are probably going to be pro-Russian right now, because they're the ones who are sticking around to, you know, either support the buddies there, or, you know, fucking actually fight. So you would need at least some time to be able to have people who are residents of these places find out where they are to be able to like have a vote given to them. So like have something like that set up later, but at the very least have something more immediate set up. You need to get a meeting between Zelensky putting it somewhere like Switzerland, figure out border step, DNC, and the rest of Ukraine can join EU and NATO. Or just like, I mean, at least at the minimum, have something set up, where there could be like, elections scheduled, to have a vote of the Ukrainian people on these things. Because at the same time, I wouldn't necessarily, say they should be, like, think they absolutely have to, just because, of fucking geopolitical conflict and bullshit because of fucking war profiteers and fucking ideological psychos and fascists. And outright nationalists who pretty much, control the entire fucking government like Putin. So, I mean, it's because, a lot of these people are just, of Ukraine and shit are all just caught up in all this bullshit. It's like none of them obviously, asked for the war, asked for, like having, weapons and all this other shit just like flaunted their country and shit. It's like they're all just caught up in a mix of all of it. That's why I'm so anti-war about it. I mean, it's not because of like, obviously some pro-Putin stuff. In fact, I'm being very critical of that fucking freak, throughout this, at least my entire talk about it. Because, I mean, he's fundamentally a part of the problem. Because, at least in this case, he was the one that instigated that shit. Which I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if it was, like, at least, based off of, like, international influential interests. Considering there was already conflict rising up a little bit by bit, around that region anyway. Because of annexation of Crimea. Then, like, a lot of the ousting of the more pro-Russian president at the time. And all this other shit. So it was just already kind of building up. It was just more or less like how much, money investment and how much, like, time is it until it really kicks off. And about 8 years.
How it didn't play out. Obviously, Ukraine's had a ton of outside help. I mean, Russia to some degree too. But
mostly from Iran.
Just like now they're like they don't want to look weak, so it's like, hey, look, we also have this. We got nukes. We got hypersonic missiles. Don't mess with us. Don't think about invading Russia. Don't fuck with Russia. Which is it's a cornered beast right now. And obviously with that kind of power it has. I mean, yeah, like they're saying, like if anyone tries to invade us, we're just gonna nuke them. Yeah. I was like, okay, that's great. So no, I mean, we had an episode about that. We kind of talked about the geopolitics of like, well, anyone really want to do a nuke because isn't it kind of like, especially any major country, any of the like, China or the U.S. or Russia or whatever. Like, if they launch nukes, I mean, whatever their enemy is going to launch nukes too. But then you just see like
very
stuff
likely.
like this where it's like, well,
honestly, it's not even likely. It just would.
Stabilized enough, and like someone just nukes it. They're like, well, fuck them. We'll just nuke them. Like, what are they going to do? They're not going to nuke us back because of the damage.
Wait, what? Okay, what the fuck is this media pushing economists? So they're pulling the Mediterranean move of him trying to rebrand it as he. The dude's fucking stuff for a long time to hear about it. It's because he legally changed his name to Yi, or Ye, or whatever the fuck. And he's very obsessing about fucking, like, not being, quote, dead named, or whatever the fuck. Even though he's just fucking Kanye West and shit, and just a fucking mentally unhinged fucking Nazi. So, I mean, honestly, it's not exactly, not too surprising that, there's just, like, this whole concedement to be like, well, look, hey, But you want to hear about the actual important shit, not this fascist fuck. I mean, for real. Like, I'm really kind of done. Like, it's kind of fun to poke at and fuck on him at this point, but, like, even I'm done with it.
I don't know. Just the fact that there's so many of these little nuclear micro conflicts going on. Like, Russia-Ukraine is one thing. But then you've got India and Pakistan. You've got India and China who are at each other's throats, both nuclear nations.
Well, honestly, all three of those countries, India, Pakistan, and China, all three of them, for separate fucking dumb reasons, are all kind of, like, antagonistic towards each other. Like, India doesn't like China because they're encroaching on parts of the Kashmir region, and I think a few other contested territories on the northeastern border of India. And then fucking, obviously, the Kashmir region of Pakistan and India, but because China also has some claims to some parts of Kashmir too, Pakistan's like, what the fuck? So it's just like, I mean, they're all three of them are all, like, not exactly happy with each other. And all of them have nukes. It's like, oh, that's great.
You have Taiwan and China. You have the U.S. like, no, we're going to back Taiwan. And Japan as well. I mean, I don't think Japan has nukes, but
they barely have a military
with them. So it's like, if
where are
China
their military?
Invade any of these countries, like, what are we supposed to do? You know, like,
yeah.
So it's like it's just kind of like, you know, it's yet again that game of chess where it's like, who's going to fucking blink first? Who's going to do this shit first? And obviously Russia is relying on that because I guess they're afraid of
The fucking authoritarians is the most paid bullshit ever. Well, it's all because it's built around nationalism. And that's why I sure as shit fucking hate it. Not just authoritarianism, but nationalism, and really just the concepts of nation states because of shit like this, really.
I mean, just the videos coming out of the country, like, they're having a really hard time recruiting people just to have this military campaign have any success, and just even keeping up a front, which is what you wouldn't really even expect. It's Russia.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, I know they've had a population decline, but you figure they have enough, like, if they wanted to do this, they, like... See, to me, it's like, if you're going to invade another country, like, you figure, like, they're preparing. Like, Germans in World War II,
trying to become a world leader, bitch, you are a world leader. If you're escalating completely pointless petty dispute. Well, they're also doing this with Taiwan. They have been with Hong Kong. Like, I mean, what's, like... I mean, this is kind of the thing about, like, superpowers and nations like this. Like, being a, quote, world leader also means being a global dominant power. And that includes by strength as well. China's just, frankly, more smarter about it because they're a lot more, you know, like, not... Because they're just a little bit more, like, competent with it. Like, they do so far more economically with their dominance more so than militarily. Like, they will have, you know, like, their, you know, military strength and flex that shit, you know, and they do, but that's not, like, their main point. One country, one vote, no more superpowers. Yeah. Like, or hyperpowers either, which are basically even bigger than fucking superpowers, which I think, fuck, we really haven't seen, like, anything that big yet. Though, a lot of these superpowers are vying for that.
I mean, it's like, hey, you guys are kind of building up over there. Oh, no, don't need to worry. You know, it's like, you know, you figure, like, you're doing that shit. You know, like, you're trying to, project strength. But, oh, we're just doing this like it's a drill. And then you just invade. And it's like, it's sudden, and it's swift, and it's overwhelming, and you just roll over and, like, Ukraine's ours now. Like, that's the kind of shit you're expecting. Not, like, this slow roll of, like, reluctant people, like, oh, we're not going to give you any equipment or anything, but go ahead, here's a gun, and there's the Ukraine. It's that way.
Well, I mean, one of the reasons it didn't go as fast as people assumed it would is because Russia didn't deploy its air force. It, like, decided on this, like, ground war, which, I mean, that's all.
Well, partially. They mostly relied on their airborne troops, which were mostly, like, their helicopters and more like close air support type of initiative. So they would have, like, more strategic strikes with their aircraft and then use their helicopters as, like, their main attack force, which that proved pretty disastrous in a lot of ways. Because a few times they sent transports, you know, like actual, like, you know, transport aircraft in, it didn't work out as well. So they kind of reserved a lot of their aircraft until they had more of a stable grab, at least at some territory.
A slog of a fight, yeah. I saw another story, too, that I didn't pull, that talk about a number of polls have come out, and the, like, American opinion worm has turned on Russia, Ukraine. It's now, like, more Americans support, like, immediate diplomacy and less...
No shit.
No more fucking money and sending weapons over there, which I to my own horn, but it's something I was saying at the very beginning of this. I was like, I'm going to watch the entirety of America.
Yeah, honestly, for fucking real. Like, I mean, I like, for me personally, it's like, I can understand maybe sending, you know, some, you know, like, maybe, you know, like, not, you know, some reserve officers to help like train some of their officers, and for like a month or two, send some extra equipment and the javelins and stuff. Sending some of that at least for a little bit to kind of help help them along. But it's like at this point they are more than equipped to and so equipped they're doing successful counteroffensives. At this point where it's like at this rate there's not much of a like need to be so constantly pushing endless money and endless weapons to Ukraine at this point, because they got more than enough at this rate. But because war's a racket and it's just that profitable, I mean, every time that happens, it's just more profits for the because all that's just contracts essentially for these military industrial and multinational companies and shit. Just make up more smaller manufacturing, and make up more big arm manufacturing, more tank parts, more javelins, etc., etc. And most of it at least is pretty much all getting exported straight to Ukraine. And if anything, that has a major impact even domestically, because like at least for smaller things like ammo and shit, that has a major impact on like domestic sales when it comes to just like an average person wanting to have some of that for themselves or whatever, because then it becomes that much more harder to get. And then you got fucking just like these other with these manufacturers, instead of like Boeing or Lockheed Martin, instead of making more domestic civilian based type of aircraft or technology and shit, it's all just going towards weapons and shit, because they have more of a financial interest in that instead of more domestic commercial based things. I mean, same thing with a lot of these other smaller manufacturers and shit, because there's definitely plenty of things where a lot of these like smaller manufacturers like Winchester, for example, and shit like that, where they've done things where it's not just guns and shit that they have produced and stuff. So it's like these manufacturers are more than capable of being able to like diversify the production of things and not be just small arms and war profits and shit. But it's just basically what's more profitable.
To going, oh man, why are we sending billions of dollars over there when we have horrible problems here that need addressing?
I think
because that's what always happens with these wars. In my experience in these military conflicts and shit, when they first start, there's a bunch of like flag waving, democracy loving shit, but when it slogs on for 8 months and the death toll rises and the cost goes fucking astronomically over the top, people just get sick of it. But it's too late. Nobody ever learns. It's like you get sick of it 8, 9, 10 months into it, not at the very fucking beginning when you saw it coming. So,
isn't even the cost though? I think it's just the way that propaganda works and the way it's easy to manipulate people. I think if you show people like the right things in the right country in the right context,
it's a great idea.
That you can make people feel like, yeah, we have to do it, and then you can just have it turn. You can say, you know what, actually, we need to
Guy buries vodka 3 weeks before festival, dude digs it up after entry.
I'm willing to acknowledge that
it's dude, base
by giant corporations and by media.
Oh, dude, we should do this for the Blues Fest.
Enough people feel a certain way because
Fuck
they feel
yeah.
like everyone has that position.
Right.
Like you get bombarded with news articles and stories about
look,
these poor people.
Hold on.
Oh my god.
He actually, the dude has like a little metal thing attached to the bottle, so yeah, it looks like he did. So he had a metal detector, so he would be able to specifically dude, yes. Dude, is this a Blues Fest idea that we're looking at right here? I'm actually gonna like save this because I actually want to be like, yo. Dude, we should share this with the boys and be like, yo, Blues Fest idea? Question mark.
Country that had
once we get inside, now we have a whole bottle of vodka for all of us.
Good on Russia. Those people in the Ukraine are horrible. They're terrible people. We cheer on Russia's victory, and we need to give aid to Russia. You know what I mean? Like, it's just... I think people are unwilling to acknowledge how easy it is to manipulate them. And I'm not saying there's someone who's like, oh, they can't get me. It's like, they can get anybody.
I mean, yeah, dude. I used to be subject to this type of shit. I was on the same fucking bandwagon of ebbing and flowing support for war and shit. And honestly, it was watching these wars, being told one thing and then having them slog on and having the cost overruns and just the crazy fucking death tolls.
The prosecuting of the war.
Right. I watched that enough times to where I developed a principled and strong anti-war stance, and that's where I stand, man. That's where I stand.
Well, just think about it.
America's
But you're actually
involvement in
pro-Putin
abortion
because you
is
actually are like that, though?
Single last ditch effort, and it should be demonstrable that, you know, like America's direct, like our safety and our interests are directly at play. Otherwise, I don't trust America to do the right fucking thing. I don't trust America not to profiteer. I don't trust America not to support strong men and arm militias and all the shit that we do every time we fucking support one of these countries in their civil war, which is what this basically is. Like, that's another thing that bugs me about this. Is like people are acting like Ukraine has existed since the dawn of fucking man or some shit. Like, no, Ukraine was fully well and proper part of fucking Russia up until about 20 years ago. So let's not act like this is some sort of established democratic republic. Russia's just deciding we're gonna take your shit. It's a civil war. This is like they're separatists from the former USSR in the eyes of Russians. It's just bullshit to stick your dick in that beehive, in my opinion.
It's just crazy to me.
I mean, in a way, I know a lot of Russian folks, especially along the border of Ukraine, to basically see Ukrainians as kind of like their brothers in a way. Where it's like, and I know there's been just, especially at this point, so many different protests and interviews and at least, you know, different voices that have come out where it's like, yeah, like, I mean, we don't see Ukrainians as, you know, some, you know, like, you know, in a sense of like they need this whole like liberation of shit, like, you know, our friends, like, I mean, we could trust that they're, you know, not like you have some malintent or whatever the fuck, or there's Nazis there or some shit, like, and there's a lot of Russians that straight don't believe that shit. Like, from my understanding, it's pretty much kind of like how America is in a sense with it, where it's like a lot of the more rural, like, boomer conservative types and shit. So, like, you know, if you're out in fucking Siberia, like, they're all the, like, oh yes, we'll liberate them, comrade. Like, they're the ones that are all like that and shit. You know, which, honestly, in a way, kind of makes sense. I mean, because a lot of the youth of Russia have been very adamantly against this shit. I mean, considering that a lot of them pretty much are either still protesting, defecting, fleeing, or immediately surrendering if they're forced to, you know, fight and shit. Or fucking literally assassinating the lieutenants and officers and, like, firebombing, you know, draft offices and shit. It's just like, obviously, you know, the Russian people, you know, are fundamentally, you know, resisting against this, and we're only just seeing, you know, the more extreme glimpses of it. So, I mean, it just kind of shows that, like, you know, to a lot of Russians, it's not, you know, to them, it's just, like, really more or less just a conflict that doesn't need to happen. Like, even if they do think it's, like, you know, like, oh, yeah, they should come back, it's more like, hey, we could do this in a far more diplomatic, peaceful manner.
Please, Afghanistan. I mean, well, at least officially. You know, we officially left. You know, we're still there. But if you go beyond that, it's like, so we end this major conflict, then here's another major conflict popping up. It's like, it always seems to happen. So it's either like our attention on conflicts changes, or they're just happening everywhere all the time. And I think the answer is, like, they just happen all the time. But which one are we focused on? Oh, we're focused on this one. Right. This is the battle we're fighting over here. Like, well, it's not us directly, but kind of us, but not us. You know, you get it? Like, it's like, no, not really. I don't understand.
Yeah, I love this. I love me giving my opinion about this means I'm simping for Putin. I
knew it. Some motherfucker was gonna say that.
Actions in fucking sending in.
He's against war. He's not
I'm anti-war. That means I'm against Putin.
Anti-war means you're pro-Putin.
Should be escalating the war, and I don't think America should be escalating the war.
Honestly, that's just like a hyper-American-centric way of fucking thinking. It's like, well, yeah, I'm anti-war, but if it's like, you know, a war that some other nation's doing, then I'm actually okay with it though, because, you know, fuck them for doing it. Because, you know, anti-war, right? It's like, no, that's not how it works, you dipshit. But, you know, it's like, so when, you know, to a lot of them, you know, to a lot of these type of people, they're just like, oh, if you're anti-war, even, you know, for instance, like in Ukraine and shit, then it means like, oh, you must be pro-Putin. This is just, I'm putting plastic in plastic so I can recycle it, bro. This ain't for you. But it's just like, I mean, I just hate these fucking weird chuckle fucks who think that way. It's like, what? It's like, it's like I want to slap him silly.
fucking idiotic when it comes to this shit. It's why I don't talk about it ever. It's why, like, when these fucking stories come up, I just want to move on.
There's people so following tankies. I don't know.
I'm sick. I'm literally sick of fucking
Following
people
tankies.
reinterpret my very clear statements and shit. So you fuck off with it.
Yeah. I don't know about TJ. Maybe TJ's pro-war, which I wouldn't even shock me if he was, but I am with Paul. I'm anti-war. It's a horrible...
I know actually TJ's talked about it recently. He's not necessarily pro-war, but he's probably more, like, leaning to it as an option more than Paul probably would be. And it's, you know, and it's more or less because, like, you know, I think in his mind it's more about, like, you know, when push comes to shove, and, you know, it's like, yeah, like, you know, if you need to have something done, then, you know, like, it can be an option on the table. You know, more or less as, like, the absolute last resort, you know, depending, I guess, on the context or circumstances and shit. You know, which I don't necessarily agree with. I mean, I guess I suppose would depend on the context, I guess, but, I mean, it, you know, it just wouldn't necessarily, you know, probably be a good option, you know, so, I mean, I would say TJ's not pro-war by any means, but he's probably more willing to consider it if, you know, it's something that might be an option, I guess.
Scotty just admitted he did, like, but you know what the funny thing is? You won't get a single ounce of shit. It'll be me that...
I don't know why, like, but no, war is horrible. It's horrible, and honestly, all it does is cause untold suffering for people who are just pawns to basically the elite.
Yep.
I love these idiots, too. Paul being completely illiterate on the history of Ukraine is not surprising, as if you're any better.
Oh my god, dude. Holy shit. I'd love to see that person take a pop quiz on Ukraine, because I guarantee that person would get an F. Not like I would get an A or anything. I'd get an F too. But, like, oh my god.
Who are just some kind of, like,
scholar?
Well, my fucking hobby back in high school was Ukrainian history.
I don't know shit
fucking
about
break,
history.
dude. Because you peruse the fucking...
I mean, funny enough, actually, I might actually be able to get a pretty good grade on a pop quiz on Belarus, because I actually did a college paper on that, and I know I have that somewhere. So if I had time to, like, study up, I would actually be able to ace that shit. So if it was Belarus, I would actually be able to ace that bitch. But it's Ukraine, so I would actually fail pretty significantly. Well, maybe not that much. I mean, maybe when it comes to geography, I'll probably nail it. But everything else, like, not that much. Maybe a little bit. But definitely geography.
And get, like, suck my dick.
Yeah, you're the Paul, how dare you say you're our ambassador to the Ukraine? Rich history. I don't know shit about the Ukraine. I'm not gonna fucking lie for a second.
You can't, like, even hold the position that they want you to hold. Like, they want you to say, like, oh, Russia's bad. Yeah, Russia's bad. Russia should not be militarily invading its neighbors.
No
that
shit.
Doesn't mean that I agree
no country should.
that America needs to be directly
Period.
involved. I don't think America needs to be directly involved in that. I don't think our tax money...
I mean, honestly, like, no country should be meddling in the affairs of other nations, and, you know, no country should be, you know, escalating a war with, you know, with their neighbors and shit. Like, that, I mean, that's... Fortunately, I feel like that should be a given, you know, but it just isn't. Because of tyrants like Putin.
All over fucking Ukraine.
And war profiteering nations like America.
After this fucking conflict is over, the legacy of those weapons in Ukraine is going to be more death for people in Ukraine, more fucking despotism in Ukraine, more corruption in Ukraine.
Oh yeah, I know they're corrupt as fuck, dude. I mean, the U.S. revealed how corrupt they are with all that shit with Hunter Biden and fucking Joe Biden, dude, and like basically putting his son on the fucking board of a giant Ukrainian gas company. You know what I mean? Like just shit like that. So I know that Ukraine was corrupt as fuck, but before that I didn't know shit.
I mean, it is.
I know fuck all about them.
I mean, that's also another thing about it. It's like if you know, criticize the aspects about the Ukraine government during this war, especially considering, you know, an anti-war stance, like with the Ukrainian government specifically, and with their administration, it's like, it's also like seen as like, oh, you're pro-Putin and stuff. It's like, no, I'm anti-corruption and across the board, especially, I mean, you can't even deny Ukraine, honestly, because, yeah, like, Hunter Biden was, like, you know, part of, like, Ukrainian nuclear energy board and shit, and, you know, and there's obvious corruption going on there. Like, I mean, the Biden family does actually have, like, a lot of, elements of, influence within the Ukrainian government, and their energy industry. I mean, it's just like, sorry, yeah, Ukraine is corrupt as fuck. I mean, and also Zelensky has his history of doing money laundering, too. He's not exactly an angel. Or, that big of the, fucking hero that he was made out to be. I mean, is he, I guess admirable for, sticking around and, sticking to his, guns and helping out his people? I guess. But I don't exactly care, because at the end of the day, he's a fucking politician. That's what he is. It's like he's, just as corruptible and malleable, and as far as I'm concerned, greedy like the rest of them. So... and at this rate, he's even been advocating NATO to be more preemptive when it comes to maybe doing a strike, just because Russia's been threatening, with these, nuke drills now and all this shit. Like, it's just like, yeah, NATO should, get together and agree to try to do a preemptive strike. It's like, what? You're not even you're not even a part of NATO, bitch. What, you're gonna, just try to, coerce them into doing shit like that? Which, by the way, is escalating war further into a global one.
That's why I agree with you. It's like, talking about geopolitical shit, it's like, dude, I know enough to know something, but not enough to not be a fucking idiot about it. Let's put it like that. That's how much I know, personally, about this shit.
Yeah, I may not be some kind of fucking expert in the history of Russia or Ukraine.
I know war is bad, guys. It's not, I don't need to be a fucking genius to know that. Like, a bunch of fucking people dying and suffering. Like, we can talk about all the debate shit here, but there's actually people being killed and suffering and being tortured. That's what I'm against. So if you're in favor of that, fuck you.
These fucking chicken hawks would never be caught anywhere near the front line of a goddamn fucking
I don't want to be in the front line.
Definitely not.
They're happy to cheerlead from their comfy little fucking lazy boy chair and shit over here in America, but when it comes to actually getting down on the fucking
the lazy boy chairs,
never fucking do it, and they know in their hearts that they're fucking cowards. And it's just like I don't understand. I don't understand how people could call themselves leftists and then support every goddamn fucking imperial action that America does. Anytime America's saber rattling against China bad. Every time America's saber rattling against Russia bad. It's just like, what's the point? What's the point of taking a principled stand on anything if your fucking stand is like, I'm just gonna fucking ride the wave or whatever the politicians tell me? It's like, you want to talk about illiteracy? I may be fucking illiterate about the history of Ukraine. You're illiterate about the history of American fucking interventions around the world. I'm not. I've lived through a lot of them, fuckers.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine you lived through the shit that was going on in, the Balkans, with what formerly was Yugoslavia and shit. Like Serbia, Kosovo, and stuff like that, with the bombings there. He's lived through that shit. He's, lived through the Gulf War, the Iraq War, it's every intervention that I've grown up with at that point.
See, this is what I'm talking about. I know some of you
Paul
are probably fucking
side
trolling and shit, but it's just ridiculous.
Why would he be? He's not on fucking Putin's side. That's ridiculous. What he's saying is he's anti-war. I don't understand that. It's he's opposed to all war.
Yes.
It does not matter what the war is. It is he's even said
no
it.
Shit.
It would have to be completely justifiable. And just because Paul is that standard does not mean look, Paul's standard I think is indicative of a lot of people. And obviously there's a lot of people that oppose that. The Ukraine needs to defend itself. And I understand that as well. I'm not saying there's anything wrong. If someone's attacking me and I'm gonna fight back, I probably would. Yeah, if it's life or death.
No shit.
Sure. Was Ukraine part of the USSR?
Yes.
Yes or no?
I believe it was
Ukraine part of the United Soviet Socialist Republic?
Yes.
Yes or no?
It literally was.
I want you to answer, and your answer will determine whether or not I fucking ban your stupid ass.
Paul,
I love Paul sometimes, dude. Oh my god.
We're on pause, and I'm gonna wait for you to say, yes, it was.
Yes, it was, sir. It was, sir.
Limp off with your tail between your fucking legs, dumbass.
Paul is definitely.
Oh my god, dude. I love Paul sometimes. Holy shit.
If we were on Russia's payroll, we'd be doing this show right now. We'd be living in our fucking mansion on the Black Sea or some shit, dude.
Living in a mansion,
I'm not Steven
fucking,
Seagal,
Transnistria or something.
Fucking, personal, this D-list celebrity that's like, Russia's actually not bad, you know, like.
Oh my God,
if I'm
dude.
gonna be a D-list celebrity fucking shilling for a country, I'm gonna at least be getting the benefits of that. Come on. Like,
if there's a fucking mod president, just go back and ban that. I don't want to waste my fucking time doing it. Go back and ban it.
I don't want to waste my time doing it. Someone else do it.
Okay, well, at least he answered. So shut the fuck up then. Me referring to what's going on as a civil war is not that far of a stretch of the fucking true situation now, is it? It would be like if Texas decided to secede from the Union. There was a military conflict between the remaining United States and fucking Texas. You know, you would quantify that even.
I mean, that technically would be a civil war. I mean, like that was for the South, basically, right? With the Confederacy, and they seceded, state by state. So, yeah. I mean, all in all, that's basically, you know, it's like what goes on with that situation. It's just like, yeah, like you have a bunch of fucking, you know, secessionists that, you know, fucking leave, and, you know, from there, basically, you know, establish their own fucking little, you know, confederacy, and then eventually do a war of aggression against the United States. So it's like, yeah, that sounds about like, you know, civil war, obviously. And if Texas decided to do that, it would be the same.
At least a pseudo fucking civil war. Period.
Yeah, like close to one at least. I mean, yeah, if they actually did like succeeded from the U.S. and did all that, yeah.
So I just don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm done.
Texas.
I mean, it's just like, honestly, you know, the next time it's like I should, you know, fucking talk about everything. I hope it's, you know, that peace actually finally gets to become on the fucking table for an option. Because it was like 4 or 5 months into the fucking war, but then it just like fizzled out and it was never talked about again.
I'm just gonna start banning these fucking idiots, dude. Block.
Yeah, that's why I don't like to talk about the Ukraine.
Yeah, dude, every time I
fucking
bring it up, I feel like I have such a fucking, like, simple, easy to explain, direct to fucking opinion, and I get people literally recontextualizing everything. So, like, I'm gonna be.
What you actually said was this,
idiots.
buddy.
You keep going with it.
Excuse me. It's like, oh my God.
New woman says Herschel Walker got her pregnant and drove her to the abortion clinic.
Oh my God.
Like family values conservative.
God love him.
The best thing about this is, like, I've heard the talking points. So, like, obviously he denies this shit, but pretty much privately they admit he's done all this stuff. They're like, look,
Of course he has.
he's not a person you like want to like know or be friends with, but it's gonna keep the Democrats out of power. It's like, wait,
It'll just keep those damn liberals out of power. Tell you what there, brother.
Right-wing talking points that he doesn't even fully.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit,
like,
but
this guy doesn't understand.
whatever. We're not consistent about anything.
Like, go listen to Herschel Walker like campaign or speak extemporaneously, and he has no idea what's going on. Like, I don't even know how he's a credible candidate for anything.
Yeah, I mean, he's
because he isn't.
just not.
He lacks the political acumen. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
like, you have to be.
I was trying to find a way to say it without saying he's not intelligent. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to be accused now of being a racist guy. But yeah, he's not a smart guy.
I mean, it's not even
he's not a smart man.
It ain't a smart man at all. But it's because he was a football player and hit his head one too many times playing football.
You know, in any kind of government, whether it's local or federal,
that's his
or
fault.
state or whatever the fuck, should be at least, intelligent. They should be intelligent. Fucking well educated, and this guy just isn't that. He just isn't that. In addition to being a total fucking hypocrite, because
it's like at minimal, there needs to be like a high school degree and at least some form of experience in like a work trade, you know, fucking, you know, like a degree, you know, or at least, you know, some, you know, cohesive intelligence and understanding about like at least basic politics and shit, and basic geography of your state or whatever the fuck. Just basic shit. You know, just like, alright, here's some, you know, like, just the basic, like, hey, I'm competent and intelligent enough to potentially run, you know, an element of government and represent constituents. Because, especially with the GOP, there's been a lot of dumb fucks, you know, like, on their side running and shit. And it's absolutely fucking concerning. Not just because they're unhinged, but because they're legitimately not competent or not, like, mentally sound enough to be fucking running for office and shit. Like, Marjorie Taylor Greene's another one. I mean, she shouldn't be qualified to run for office because she's a fucking dim-witted dumbass. So, I mean, like, Herschel Walker ain't the only one I'm talking about when it comes to this fucking problem. He's just another one. In fact, you know, just one of the more severe ones, along with MTG and Bobert, too, and a few others. Gohmert is another one that's kind of fallen off the wayside, that he's still around for some reason.
They're running for Georgia Senate.
No, that was before I knew I was going to be in this position. You know, that's basically like the defense of this. Oh, I didn't do that. It's like, there's proof you did, bro. Like, so...
It's like overt
I don't
proof.
know.
Yep.
I mean, you can deny it all you fucking want, but you're not anything you say you are. And that should be
I
right
love
there.
this. I love this, too. Like, this weaselly fucking political answer here. Walker's denied paying for an abortion.
Paying for
Not
it.
going to deny that you took her to it. Not going to deny that you pushed her to get it. You're just going to deny that you actually paid your fucking part of it. Piece of shit.
Dude, what a rat.
I guess this is the second woman to do so, too. Second woman has accused Georgia Republican Senate candidate Herschel Walker pressuring her to get an abortion after she became pregnant during their relationship.
Dude, I'll tell you what, he's so dumb. He doesn't even deny it at this point in American politics. All he has to do is say, like, he had he didn't understand, like, scripture or some shit, but then, you know, he was taken and, like, he understood.
Then he understood God better.
And repented, and that's why he's so against it now. Like, any political acumen, that's all they would do, and it would just be a total, like, yeah, you know, like, that stuff did happen, but I wasn't godly then, and then God came into my life, and I realized the error in my ways, and I talked to God, and God was like, no, you must right the wrongs you've done. I'm like, yes, God, I'll do it. How can I do it, God? By becoming Senator of Georgia. All right, God, I'll do it. That's all you gotta do.
He sounds brilliant and sharp to me.
Oh, right.
You must
Oh
be,
my god.
You must have a literal 0.1
Nice
IQ.
nice
Literal 21 IQ. I mean, especially for someone like Herschel Walker and being a Republican, all you have to do is basically say, yep, I went to God and went to church and I understood the error of my ways and I forgive my sins. Like, that's literally all you have to do. And they'll like gobble that up and fall on them balls all day and every day.
His allegation
Eat that up like a fucking breakfast pie, I tell you what.
Scheduled by attorney Gloria Allred came weeks after a different anonymous woman said Walker had paid for an abortion in 2009. Pressure to get a second one 2 years later.
Ooh.
He's running for Senate on, among other things, an anti-abortion platform.
While throwing them out there left and right. Get abortion. Get abortion. Get abortion.
Walker denied the latest allegation at a campaign event earlier.
Of course he
did.
did.
With this foolishness. I've already told people this is a lie. I'm not going to entertain. Right.
Yeah, whatever.
No, I didn't kill JFK either. Yeah, that's a nice non-sequitur answer that has nothing to do with it. Well, you know what? I didn't do that either. I didn't kill JFK.
That's all it takes.
I don't have facts to back this up, but I didn't do it.
You know what I mean? Like it's completely out of the realm of possibility that this dude has had pressured women into abortions before. No.
Definitely not. Not whatsoever.
Not Mr. Walker. No.
He's innocent. Can't you see?
Mr. Walker said he is against women having abortions, but he pressured me to have one. The woman said, "You don't need people in the U.S. Senate who profess one thing and do another." She said, "I agree."
Well, unfortunately, most senators do that anyway.
We know they don't actually give a shit.
But I know what she means, so.
Abortion's still going to be legal, and these conservatives, when they need one, will just go to those states. These horrible babies. They slaughtered these babies. This dude does not give a flying fuck. If any of this shit is true, which it seems to me it is, he should be disqualified from right there. Like, if you're this
honestly,
person,
for real,
represent you. He doesn't fucking care. It's like I just don't get it. Like, the people that just have this total avarice for power, they're just so great. Oh my god, I've got to be in power. I've got to have this power, and they run for political office, and people just buy into this shit. It's like, dude, he doesn't even represent what you want. He's literally just telling you what you want to fucking hear. It's demagoguery 101, and he's like, well, you know what it is.
I mean, it's fascism 101. Just tell the sweet nothings that they want to hear.
Gotta do it.
Yeah. Let's see. Walker has expressed support for banning abortion without exceptions. So, rape,
no
incest,
shit. Of course.
Raise that incest baby. Raise that rape baby.
Oh yeah, bye.
So you know what?
Always been for life.
I hope those laws pass. and that he can, but they're retroactive, and he can be arrested, thrown in jail.
That'd be some karma, bro. I'd love to see that.
Because he forced some women into getting abortions.
Has to get put in jail, go to court, whole shebang.
This is brutal. Missing grandmother eaten alive by 22-foot-long python.
Oh God! Oh yeah, I remember tuning into this for a second and being like, "Oh Jesus Christ!"
So good, man. Like I don't want to.
Holy
Where's
fuck!
Grandma? Grandma, what's going on?
Mima, where you happen? Oh no, she got eaten by a python.
Why
Fuck.
does python have a grandma shape in its tummy?
Oh.
So authorities say a missing Indonesian grandmother
Jesus.
swallowed whole by a 22-foot python over the weekend.
Oh my God. What the fuck, man?
The family
Poor
of the
grandma.
54-year-old
Fuck,
woman
poor
reported
Grams.
missing after they say she went to collect rubber on a plantation Sunday near a home in Jambi, Indonesia.
Oh my God.
The city's on the island of Sumatra, the country's second longest island. The Tara
Sumatra.
Jambi police chief, S. Harafa, told the outlet when her husband went to look for her, he only found sandals, jacket, a headscarf, and a knife.
Oh my God. Jesus.
According to the chief, 2 days after she disappeared, a search party found a reticulated python with a large bulge in its stomach.
Fuck.
The woman was found when they cut it open.
Oh my God, dude. This poor lady. I feel bad for her.
But I bitch a lot about, the state of things in America, but at least...
Damn.
at least
Poor
you're
poor
very
lady. Poor
unlikely
grandma,
to
bro.
get swallowed whole by a reticulated python in the United States.
Bruh.
Yeah, you'd have to throw yourself into a zoo exhibit or something to get.
Yeah, in America to die by that. Or just
I mean,
be
I
in
think in
Florida.
the zoo-
Literally just be a
But
Florida
you
man that
probably
owns
get
one of these
before
things.
that. Like, sir, the reticulated python will not eat you today. Please!
Yeah, man, he looks hungry. Come on.
Yeah, let me just...
Something TJ would be
Let
into.
me feed him. Let me in there. Come on.
Python or something.
Donations, we need to send TJ to Indonesia. Yeah, we do. Or TJ.
Yes, we do.
And finally live his dream.
Speaking of donations, still working on those bizarre 1990
Here, we'll
Assault.
skip more for
who
this.
did not.
Oh, who's this dude? Oh, I remember. I think I remember seeing this.
The world's dirtiest man.
The dirtiest man.
died in Iran at 94. I don't know how they qualify the world's dirtiest, but
He looks filthy.
Yeah, that guy definitely is looking a little raunchy.
Haji, who did not bathe for half a century, reportedly ate roadkill and smoked a pipe filled with animal excrement.
What? Oh wait, I did not hear that part of the story. Wait, I'm in tune now. I'm tuning in. Huh?
Yeah, the roadkill thing I don't get, and the
No, I get that. I mean, you gotta eat, you know what I mean? But like, what?
Hey, Baz, I'll never take one again. Dude, he must have had a mom that just scrubbed his ass. He's like, you know what? Fuck this. And then he-
Yeah, maybe or something. Like, what the fuck?
Not happening.
What the?
Yeah, I mean, I can even understand the roadkill eating. It's gross.
No, yeah.
You gotta do what you gotta do to survive, you know what I
Right,
mean?
oh,
But
yeah, I guess
smoking
it's true.
dog shit, though, that's a total decision.
That is a decision
Like
of
hashish or something.
serious intent. You know, like,
Sure they
oh my
do. I'm
god.
sure they got something.
I know alcohol is kind of forbidden there, but I mean, come on, how about the hashish?
Yeah, but this is like, flies in the face of all these fucking experts over here who say, cleanliness helps you with your health and stuff. This guy didn't bathe, smoked dog shit for 90 years.
Dude,
He smoked fucking
why?
dog shit, dude, it was 94. I mean, how... Dude, Paul, how does this...
Why? You know, what's wrong? Like, I mean, I get the maybe, saying fuck bathing and all that shit. Like, dude, the smoking dude, oh my god. I might need to make myself a bourbon whiskey coke
Everything
now.
figured out, and literally that guy that never bathes,
Oh my
eats
God.
fucking roadkill and smokes shit. Yeah.
You know what? He was just living his dream, man. You know what? Respect to him.
Oh, man.
I'll
I
smoke
know,
some of
dude,
my
the
own
fucking
dog
human
shit,
race is a
man.
nightmare.
That's why I like when people present anything to be like, dude, like, I figured this out, or I've got life figured out. It's like, no, you don't. You know,
He
you
lived,
fucking-
he lived a
Show this
long,
guy's story.
disgusting life. Yes, he did.
Fuck yes, he did.
So, IRNA news agency reported that Abu Haji, an endearing nickname for an elderly person, I don't know what it means, died on Sunday in the village of Dejga. I'm fucked up thinking about him smoking dogs.
I was imagining this guy.
I know. I'm honestly a little fucked up from that too. Like, Honestly, the closest I think I've ever gotten was my friend Harley gifting me for Christmas for some fucking reason this weed that was raunchy as fuck, dude. And honestly, like, I should have known better, because he told me, it's like, yeah, this came off of, like, farm and stuff, weed farm. You know, and it's basically like, kind of like the dirt hash stuff and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, like kind of like a little dirt weed, but here's a gigantic whole fucking container just for you. I'm like, okay, alright, cool, thanks, I guess. So, whenever I was like low on weed and shit, I'd smoke it, and for some fucking reason, like, cause I know there was like, some shit in that bitch, but I don't know why, but for some reason, that fucking, like, smoking that weed unironically would make me horny as fuck. I do not know why. I've never had weed that has ever made me feel that way ever up until that weed. Like, honestly, dead ass, not even fucking shitting you. I don't know, I really, I'm perplexed to it myself, because I'm just like, how does weed, like, make you horny? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's like, how does that happen? But I'm assuming it's because there's unironically other things involved in that probably made that happen. I'm just like, oh boy, because oof, it was some raunchy shits, but it wasn't literal shit like this guy what he was doing.
A dog takes a fat fucking shit. Him grabbing the fucking turd, put it in his wood pipe, and just.
He's like, yeah, I'm gonna smoke this up.
Haji, covered in soot and living in a cinder block shack, was reported by local media as to not bathed with water or soap in more than 60 years.
I know this part of the story is that this guy, like, months after he bathed for the first time, after all this fucking time for half a century, he died. So it's like, maybe he should never have bathed because his body wasn't ready for it.
That led him to refuse to wash it. Maybe you were right. Just had a mom that scrubbed his ass fucking too hard or whatever.
Maybe, yeah, that's probably what happened.
Like, he happened to go out in the rain.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't think Iran's actually known for getting much rain. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so.
Apparently this picture shows him
smoking
several cigarettes at once and smoking some dog
What?
Shit.
Oh my god, dude. How did he live for so long?
That's 5 cigarettes at once.
Okay, I'm not really disputing he's the dirtiest dude ever.
Yeah, now looking at this,
yeah, dude, he is a dirty boy.
Like, he's wearing a glove, dude.
He is a dirty man.
He is taking a big hit of dog shit.
Oh man, he's fucking lived his life. Dude.
Oh my god.
There he is outside.
What the fuck?
Cinder block hut.
Fucking years, dude. So he didn't give a fuck, Paul.
His philosophy was, I don't give a fuck, son. I mean, for real, dude. What the fuck, man?
The shit, though.
Didn't give a shit, but he loved to smoke it.
Oh man.
Rip, dude. Ripping dog shit-aronis, bro. Oh my god. But in a good way.
I'll tell you what, I never want to smoke a person before.
Papa bless, man. Oh my god, because, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with that?
I'm gonna go grab a dino turd after this is done and smoke it up.
Yeah, maybe there's something in it. I don't know. Maybe there's something about dog shit where it's like you mix that in with some hash and shit and you just light that up and it's like, you just like find yourself in the 5th dimension or something. I don't know.
Why wouldn't you?
Who fucking knows? Maybe that guy was on another level, dude.
That anybody would vote for a Republican.
Wait, what?
In New York.
Well, like you already have.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you? It's there. Nancy Pelosi scoffs at the idea that anybody would vote for a Republican. In New York Times interview. Of course she does.
I can understand why, honestly. What?
Because this is how
I don't understand how anybody can just do that. Well, Nancy Pelosi, you out of touch fucking ivory tower sitting fucking goblin mummy. Like, considering that, what I just stated, you're not gonna understand. You're not gonna get it. Huh.
Because they think that, like, oh,
out of touch, bitch.
Like, I remember the same fucking hubris after the
good morning
term of
Sunday morning
George W. Bush. It was just like, oh yeah, now people see. Now people see what's up, and there's no fucking way. I can't even fucking imagine anybody vote for it. We got this in the bag. We don't really have to do anything. We have to give people anything. Got it.
You know,
And it's the same fucking hubris that, well, led to 2 terms of Bush and Trump and fuck who knows what, coming 24.
Oh shit, never mind. Yeah, I got it again. He got me again.
I mean, the midterms could even be pretty fucked too, even because of this. I mean, with this type of mentality. I mean, they're just, so like these fucking old guard better think they're fucking lucky stars that, there are at least, some statewide, Dems in various different states that are at least trying to do something worth a fuck. McPib.
Like, are putting forward, like, idiots like Marjorie Taylor Greene, but at least they're not, like, 80 years old.
Yeah, not to be ageist, but I really am sick of every goddamn fucking politician doing. You know what, dude? If we're gonna elect old people, let's elect Abu Haji.
True. Yeah, let him smoke his shit pipe on the Senate floor.
Yeah, dude. I'd rather have him on the Senate floor smoking dog shit. So fuck you.
I mean, Nancy Pelosi's such an unlikable politician that it's just bizarre to be like, what?
The old guard doesn't like the state Democrats always trying. They prefer inaction. Hence why they better think they're fucking lucky stars, because if not, then it would be a fucking red wave again.
Anybody else, like,
because the only reason why they might potentially win a Senate seat or 2, and maybe at least, some House seats here and there and shit, is because of that.
To be honest, like, people are shallow. Just look at it.
If they actually gain any.
Like a skeleton came to life and, like, slapped some skin on.
And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, maybe, Dems lose seats here and there, but they win seats here and there to where it ends up being relatively the same.
So it's like, but then you find out it's not a skeleton, it's actually a vampire. That's here to suck you fucking dry. Yeah, Nancy, that's why. Because you're out of touch with the population, you don't give a shit, and you think that, like, rich, like, New York liberals were like, yeah, that's who's gonna vote for me. It's like, no.
It isn't younger people going for Johnson Drazen. Yeah. Of course.
Not who's voting for
you. You oversee a horrible do-nothing Congress that's basically...
And Nancy Pelosi and these fucking mummified ilk, want it too.
You know what I mean?
Because it kind of benefits their interest in the whole back and forth.
You're the reason why people go vote for these horrible Republicans. You want to know why so many people flocked to Trump? It's you. You and your ilk, you and your fucking track record have left people jaded and disillusioned. And a lot of people fucking voted for Trump for those very reasons.
Yeah, what have they ever
essentially
done? It's like when someone comes along, it's like, we'll drain the swamp.
I mean, that's pretty much.
The swamp. It's like, and you have someone like Nancy Pelosi is at this point a career politician. I mean, she's just indicative of that. What's she done? Well, nothing really. It's like, I remember when, like, they had that blue wave, like, during, like, it was like George W. Bush's last term. And it was like, Nancy Pelosi gonna be Speaker of the House. Oh, we're gonna do all this stuff.
I found a rare principal Johnson voter. They literally said, blue, no matter who, is a scam, and they don't blame Green Party voters at all. Well, at least they're consistent.
Progressive record. And then time just chips away at it, and eventually you're right. She's just the center-right, basically do nothing. Like, dude, okay, here's a perfect example for you. You know the Sunshine Act, Paul, you know what that is?
No, not off the top of my head.
It was going to eliminate, I mean, they did some other things, but it's going to eliminate daylight savings time, which most Americans are like, it's worthless. I don't want to set my clock back over.
I mean, I actually definitely like the idea of
the Senate, Paul. The Senate. The place where legislation in America goes to die.
Right. So that's, and they couldn't get it passed.
Yeah, and Nancy Pelosi's not, and, like, as Speaker of the House,
because we just can't do it
that bill forward,
for whatever reason.
Let's have that vote. Let's have something like that. Like, yeah, a thing that, like, just, like, most Americans probably agree on. Maybe there's some, like, weirdos who are like, no, keep it because I'm fucking stupid. We can't even do that. We can't even fucking do the Sunshine Act. And it's like, oh...
Think Logan vote for Kotek? Probably. I don't know. Guess we can ask him.
What can we do?
I did.
Congress is good for is rubber.
And I already turned my ballot in, too, so...
And more fucking military spending and more corporate welfare. It's a fucking joke, dude. Yeah, that's why people aren't going to vote for you, Nancy.
I still think fondly living in Arizona, which I think is the only state in the union that doesn't do daylight savings time. I
turned mine in.
That, but it's one of the few, if it isn't the only.
And, I think there's parts.
Yeah, I got soaking wet when I turned mine in.
Like I thought that shit was done with, because like seeing on my calendar, it's like, daylight savings time.
And honestly, And I hope that daylight savings time is no longer a thing. I think Arizona's no longer the only state. I think there's like a couple other states now. Let's elect Kanye so we can get a Kanye versus Putin rap out before all nukes fly. I mean, you know what? Just for that, I'd be okay with it. Just for that principle, sure.
I'm like, wait a minute. People were like, we're celebrating the fact that the country did that, but now I find out that we didn't do it. We couldn't do it. I mean,
that's why in Arizona.
Fucking gridlock.
Damn it,
shit like
we're not. We don't have it yet. What the fuck? Oregon needs to get it already.
It shouldn't be controversial.
And a lot of these politicians, Pelosi included, like to claim that political gridlock is due to the other party or whatever. No, it's due to you not being willing to use everything at your disposal when you have the numbers to do it. You're like unwilling to buck the fucking trend and do what you need to do when you have power. That's why there's gridlock. The gridlock is everybody's raking in money hand over fist and nobody wants anything to fundamentally change. That's what.
And even Biden said that. We can't get it because Feds haven't approved it. Yeah, because the Senate killed it. Like, I mean, this is why it's like, I mean, I wish we had Sunshine Act because it's such a basic thing that literally, like, everyone can get behind. But nope, can't even get that because of how gridlocked, shit is and how, how much, money walks and bullshit or at least, like, bullshit talks and money walks in this case instead of the other way around in this situation where it's like, it's like the bullshit we should be talking instead of the, like, I mean, it's like this whole fucking money, wandering around flaunting his shit, really fundamentally is the bullshit fucking walking. Senate passed it overwhelmingly. Oh, so it's the other way. Okay, it was the other way around. But yeah, so it's like when when the House killed it, and shit, it's like either way, getting mixed, whatever. But like, It pretty much, like I said, it's still proving a point. It just shows how gridlocked and how stuck things get, because if either one side of the house or the other, whether it's in the House or the Senate, just fucking blocking, whatever type of shit, the other side potentially passes. Unless it's, just the same fucking, money over fist type of fucking, bipartisan shit that everyone is sick of.
Yeah, why would they? It's like, man, it's working out well for me. And people don't get that. It's like, yeah, if the system is benefiting you, like, why the fuck would you want it to change? It's like, remember they asked Nancy Pelosi about, like, what about insider trading and stuff, and, like, your husband? And she's like, I'm so offended, I wouldn't be asking. Yeah. It's like, well, why are you offended? Because it's true? Oh, I've never done that. It's like, but your husband has the inside track, and people literally just, like, looked at your stock trades that you and him have made and tracked it and bought the stock at the same time, or as roughly as close as they could, and made a bunch of money. So, but you don't know what's going on, and you're not using that information.
And her husband's just a fucking alcoholic, drunk piece of shit that is fucking like getting into fucking DUIs and shit. So he's just his own fucking little piece of shit himself. Ain't gonna serve jail time for that either.
It's accurate about Wall Street. It's all insider trading. It's all insider information. It's like no one's guessing there. It's always like, what's gonna be the next big thing? It's like they already know. Ding, 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 ding. Like they already have the answer.
Yep. They've got connections to powerful people that know decisions that are going to be made at corporations well ahead of time, well before the market knows, and they share that information with them. They know that their stock is going to take a jump or take a dive before anybody else knows it because they're engaged in the illegal practice of insider trading.
Well, dude, remember they had they did this big subsidy for chip makers, and it's like,
drop, waddle off.
And I'm like, okay,
drop, waddle.
I'm investing in Nvidia right now, because clearly this shit's passing, and oh my god, it did! Oh, I can't believe it! How did they figure it out? They must have just got lucky. That was it. They just got real lucky. Over and over again.
That's supposed to not been voted out. She won't even hold the vote on over one popular bill. Nope. I mean, I honestly don't even understand it. I mean, you know what? No, I honestly do. It's because of fucking money. I've been a random AI generator all along. You've been doing random AI generated comments. I was wondering what was going on with all that.
Wow, an issue you've done nothing about.
Right, so an issue that you've spent the last fucking 20 years dithering on instead of codifying. Thanks.
Yeah, that's great. Because, didn't we have... Okay, I'm trying to think back in recent history, right? I think wasn't there for a point since like the 70s that the Democrats had like the White House and the Senate,
The whole account is an AI.
Congress.
No, never.
Is it a whole AI?
They could never have done anything about that.
What special interests care about daylight savings? I don't know. Maybe the agricultural industry, because daylight savings was initially because of farmers back in the day. So maybe that.
It has 8 or 9 times. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Isn't it a mad world, Paul, where the people that did nothing about it are like, well, now I'm going to do something about it. What are you going to do? Nothing. But give me money. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you some money.
We need your $5 so we can continue to ignore all the fucking issues that you... And I love her scoffing that the economy and crime wouldn't be big issue. Dude, those are big issues for everybody. Like, nobody's just like, you know what I don't really care about? If somebody kicked down my door and shot me in the face, or if I didn't make enough money to live, man. Those are heavy fucking concerns for people. And that's one of the reasons why she alienates people with that. People don't care about the economy at a time when people are suffering. Inflation's through the roof. Fucking, you know what I mean? Just like getting a house is just...
I mean, because to her, it's just all like... I mean, she already has hers. She just wants the masses to, like, to eat their cake and expect to do it and just accept it.
Like, that's what America used to pride itself on.
They have no bread, then let them eat cake. Let them eat my bourgeois elitist ice cream.
They're like, look at how...
From my golden fridge.
Every man's got a little kingdom in America. Not anymore. It's for rich people and banks to own, so they can charge you up the ass with ridiculous over-fucking priced rent.
You know why she doesn't understand that, Paul? Because her net worth is $135 million.
I don't know why.
It says right here.
Because I guess realizing what's behind all of it is like a mummified husk of a goblin vampire ghoul, and the who happens to have a husband who's an alcoholic drunk piece of shit that gets into drunk driving incidents and stuff. Luckily, no accidents. I mean, though he could potentially kill somebody doing stupid shit like that.
$1 million.
But of course, he can get away with it because he's a rich fuck. He don't care.
She gets it.
No one cares about the economy. Everyone makes $1 million a month, don't they?
Of course.
Scotty. She feels the squeeze. She feels our pain.
Oh, 100%.
That's your caviar cost went up $300. Outrageous! Did you buy less? No, buy double.
I would scoff at the idea that Republicans are somehow going to be better in that situation. Of course they're not. But if she were to do that, you have to admit that they're sitting around doing nothing. So, oh yeah, well, the Republicans ain't going to do no better. It's like, of course they're not, because you're basically the same party. The same party with a little faux fucking political division between you to keep people bobbleheading back and forth between the two.
Bobbleheading back and forth.
Well, you rape the treasury. And pick the pockets of every goddamn fucking American and make it impossible for those Americans to pursue even a humble dream like having a little fucking house somewhere. So fuck you. Like, I just hate...
I mean, no shit.
She speaks, anytime she has anything to say about...
I mean, no shit. Like, fundamentally, like, these liberals / like, conservative fucking piece of shit are all, like, just what, goes against, just a humble little thing for the average fucking person, like you, me, and everyone else in between. Because, honestly, it's just like, yeah, I'd like to have, like, a nice little humble home. And, honestly, maybe a little bit more in the sense of having, like, a little, couple acres and shit so I can, like, have a couple horses and, a little plot of land to, tend some, crop on and shit, because I like the idea of that, but, like, the fact that, that's just no longer tenable and shit, even to the point where, like, even some of the old generation, can't help but, look that in the fucking face and realize the truth of it. Because even when I was seeing my mom last Saturday and shit, even some of her friends, because mom was mentioning, I want to try to make it so you're set up to have your own place and blah, 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 blah. And some of her friends were like, well, that's probably not going to happen for a while because of, like, essentially with how, like, how rent is and how expensive it's gotten. It's like so many people are having to, like, live with their parents or, like, room up together and stuff because they can't afford it. And with inflation and this and that, blah, 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 like, basically just, like, checkmating my mom, being like, yeah, no, that isn't, like, realistic. Basically, essentially what I've been trying to tell her all this time as well. And being like, oh, well, we'll make do and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I mean, it's a little more than just that, but okay. You know, but nonetheless, it's like, I mean, it's such a fucking issue, you know, to just even have the basic, you know, simple idea of having something like that is just like untainable and unfeasible. And it's not even that big of a heart of an ass. Like, you know, it's like realistically the whole ranch idea is more of like a dream goal idea. Like, I mean, for me to have just like, you know, maybe like a slight upgrade, at least, you know, something equivocal, you know, of a different a home, kind of like how, you know, where I'm at right now, with a decent little, you know, front yard and backyard, you know, for something for Zukov, and, you know, and a, you know, about the same amount of space here and shit, I'd, you know, be fine with that too. But like, either way, just the fact that none of that is acceptable, and I'm just fucking glad and lucky that I have the property that I am on, because it's owned by the family and shit. So it's just like, I'm just privileged because of that. You know, way too many people my age are not that lucky. You would need to remain something like Harley Logan. Yeah, exactly. I would need to bunk up with people.
Or the Democrats. I always find her just completely and utterly so far fucking out of touch. She's not even worth listening to.
Oh, not at all. She has nothing to say. She's, I mean, and she's delusional.
Nancy Pelosi needs to just basically be irrelevant.
It's like when
she's just a dementia fuck.
Do her job. It's like, oh, let me do some cushy media. Oh, we're gonna win. Oh, it's gonna be like, she would say the same shit regardless if they were gonna win or not, or if they had a good chance or a bad chance. She doesn't give a fuck. She doesn't know. She doesn't care. And it's like, what? And at the end of the day, what does it fucking matter? It doesn't matter, because if you have Nancy Pelosi or whoever the fucking Republicans pick, you're gonna get the same result.
Yeah, we got billions for Ukraine, though. That's because Nancy Pelosi and her husband probably own a bunch of fucking military stock. They probably own a bunch of
bet. I guarantee it, honestly.
Blackwater or whatever it is now. You know, a bunch of military-adjacent, military-industrial stock.
I guarantee it, honestly.
You know what? I love...
Because a lot of these politicians
people fucking line up and will parrot and retweet and fucking... Like, when these people talk about how they're waxing patriotic for the Ukrainians and how the Ukrainians deserve to be free and shit. If this shit went the other way, they'd be buying the fuck out of whatever stock was counter to it. You know what I mean? They'd be buying Russian stock and shit.
Oh, fuck yeah.
They're just fucking pieces of shit, bro. And, that's another reason why I'm anti-war, not to take it back to that ugly place, but I don't know why that's an ugly place, by the way, being against war, but there you go.
Yeah, I guess it is.
No, it's because people like this are the ones that are funding the war strategy and making the vote for it. You really think that Pelosi's right this time? No. I refuse to believe that any transfer of millions of dollars to Pelosi and her fucking shitty husband's wallet, or shitty drunk, DUI driving fucking husband, piece of fucking shit that'll never see the inside of a jail cell because he's too rich. They're profiting off that motherfucker. That's reason enough, honestly, for me to be anti-war.
True.
To deny this fucking weirdo, this leather-faced old lady, a profit. So
come on, Paul. They need it. They need their $1 million a month income.
They pulled themselves by their bootstraps to work for it. Come on now.
Right.
They they never met a harder dollar they never earned. Come on.
I mean,
no.
Nancy Pelosi's just been on Easy Street for so long that, she has people that come up to her and tell her, like, what's going on? Abortion. Just talk about that. Because they can't talk about the economy because Joe Biden's in office, so they can't go, well, the economy sucks, or this is bad. So they just have to pivot to whatever issue they think is going to motivate the most voters to their favor, and that is going to be abortion. It's going to be definitely that. They have nothing else to really even talk about. And it's not even a sense of achievement, like, we protected abortion rights. Like, oh, shit.
Yeah, because they can't say anything about student loan debt because the fucking appeals court fucking halted that shit, so they can't use that anymore. Like, they don't really have much to go off of.
Now we'll do something about it. It's like, you failed to do something, so the solution is to give you more money in the hopes that you'll somehow now do something when we know you have pretty much no power to do anything about it. Like, you've already said, like, Democrats will not change the filibuster. They will not pass it on a federal level. And even if they did, the problem now is, like, even let's say that dream world happens. They do pass legislation, protecting abortion rights throughout the entire country. Why would the Supreme Court just go strike that down right now? I mean, it might take a year or two. But it's going to happen.
They would.
So, like, in effect,
With this Supreme Court, of course they would.
When we have such a fucking counterbalance in our government, as the current makeup of the Supreme Court, I don't know how you really effectively get him past any of those laws. Because they can decide it's unconstitutional. Oh, that law? Yeah, it's unconstitutional. Can't have it. Sorry.
All right, Paul, chill.
Gotta love the kangaroo court.
Chat have DUIs on our records. Like, if you got...
Oh, some of us have DUIs on records. Chill, bro.
Like sympathy from the average person, you really didn't learn anything from your fucking
No shit.
DUI. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck your... I hope if you learned one thing, it's to not fucking swill down a bunch of booze and then get behind the fucking wheel again, dumb fuck. I've had friends and family members, both, killed by stupid, reckless idiots. So I hope that your DUI taught you at least to have a little bit of humility and shame for what you did. Because you could have splattered a whole family across the fucking highway.
Yeah,
they really absolutely could have.
What a weird thing to expect sympathy for. Oh, chill out, Paul. Don't offend us, ex-DUI people. Fuck you.
No shit. Fuck them.
Everyone I know has been affected by something
dumb fucks. Like, no shit.
It's like, no, I'm not going to offend people that made terrible decisions. Maybe you didn't harm anybody with your DUI, but the point is you very well could have, and you made a fucking terrible
even if they
decision.
didn't harm anybody, that's not the point.
If you got gaffled up for fucking selling weed, man, I got sympathy for you. Because in my opinion, you didn't hurt nobody. If you got gaffled up for stealing a couple fucking things to live from a big multi-billion dollar corporation, I got plenty of sympathy for any kind of time you had to spend and hardship you had to endure as a result of those
definitely.
crimes. But you know what? If you got a DUI on your fucking record, fuck you. Hopefully you learned to give one iota of a shit about other people in this fucking country. Because if you don't, they ought to lock you up for fucking good. In my opinion, jails are built for people like you. People that can't be trusted not to swill down half a fucking fifth of Jack before they get on the road. So eat a fat dick.
Amen to that shit. I mean, frankly, it's just like, I mean, my dad's been in multiple fucking DUIs, and some of them with me in it growing up. And it's just like, and frankly, you know, it's especially a reason why I, you know, am pretty adamant about being, you know, at least, you know, in some cases, you know, in moderation when it comes to alcohol and shit. Like, having a little binge night here and there and shit, it's okay. But, like, you know, at least for me, I know it's fine because I don't drive. Man, I ain't driving around. So it's just like, you know, and I never would, you know, have a binge night when I know I'm going to be driving anyway. I might have, like, a beer, you know, because that ain't going to get me drunk. But, you know, and even then, I probably wouldn't, you know, do that anyway. Like, I'd rather be a sober dober, you know, when I'm driving, because I ain't gonna fucking risk it, because I ain't a dipshit. Because I know that, you know, like, I've, you know, grown up dealing with this shit, too. And I haven't known people, but I've known people who have died from that shit. And I've had, you know, family members, too, who at least, you know, have been victims of shit like this before, too. And luckily have survived. But... yeah, I mean, it's because of some drunk, dumb fuck retard who decided, you know, chug down a bunch of whiskey or a bunch of booze of some sort and get behind the wheel. And it's like, and these type of people are supposed to expect sympathy. It's like, nope, fuck that. I like the puppet on the left. Well, I prefer the one on the right. Hey, look, same guy is holding both puppets. Bill Hicks. I love Bill Hicks.
People, you know, like, dude, Taylor's mom. Her fucking got hit by someone going 80 miles per hour who didn't even stop. High out of their mind on fucking prescription drugs and pills and fucking everything else you can imagine in their system. It's like, it's insane. Like, dude, do you really think we're gonna sit here and go, oh, man, DUI, man, you know, like, it's not like... Dude, maybe you didn't hurt anybody, but you very well could have been that fucking person. It's just such a stupid fucking thing.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. Like, I don't know why would you... Dude, I hope that was a joke. I don't know why you would even come with that retarded ass shit. Just
no shit.
Stupid.
I've seen that type of shit before. People that'll come to you with their like, man, I got DUI.
How many DUIs does TJ have? None.
And shit. Like I just sit there and nod when I hear people like, oh man, I lost my license, I locked up for a week, I lost my job. I just nod when people tell me that. Yeah, good. Did you learn? When's the last time you got back in the fucking car with a bunch of booze? Fucking idiot. I just hate dumb fucks, dude.
Yeah.
Black Adam tops 140 million at the global box office. I can't take this serious, bro. I can't look at this and go like, I want to go see that movie right now, man. I cannot look
You
at
want to see it, Paul?
Dude, it looks like a ballet leotard that they put him in. Like, this is lame.
Oh my god, is that what they put him in? It's just basically The Rock in some weird spandex and shit. Like, basically, you're just gonna have a bunch of weird fetishists, you know, basically be like, oh god, The Rock is in that, oh. Like, you're just gonna get a lot of fetishists into this. Like, oh god.
His look
what the fuck?
lame. It's just The Rock. You know,
yeah, it basically is just The Rock. What the fuck?
He didn't grow a beard or anything for it.
This looks lame.
No dye job.
What the fuck?
No CGI changes. No fucking makeup work on him to make him look a little different. No, it's just The Rock. You know? I can't.
The Rock is just like
what the fuck?
Dude, it was maybe like a few nights ago. I actually watched the movie Walking Tall, which just hasn't really aged well or whatever. But I was like, The Rock in this one, even though he's more awkward, like, there's like actually like something like almost going on. Like, okay, I kind of see like why people liked The Rock back then. But now it's just like he's a fucking husk, dude. He's just steroidal, like, I look like superhero, so therefore I am one. It's like, what is this? Like, it's a DC one.
He just doesn't look like a superhero to me. He looks like The Rock. You know?
Yeah, he literally just looks like The Rock. Just a jock bro, roided out, just jock bro. The Rock. That's just what he is.
I can't take him seriously in a role. I can't.
Well, I mean, as far as the physicality, he looks like what you would think a superhero would look like. But sure. I get what you're saying too. Like,
yeah, from the neck down, he looks like a superhero.
You can't unsee The Rock, and that's always kind of been his draw, and also been his biggest drawback. You know, but he's always had such you know, like, I didn't expect this movie to flop or anything. I'm not surprised it made a shit ton of money, and critics have savaged this, but obviously I think the fans have been way more kind.
I think they have. Honestly, I have a coworker that I know that is so fucking into Marvel. It's insane. And this dude will not stop talking about Black Adam. He'll come by and, you know, to our department every now and then and say what's up. And immediately he's talking about Black Adam. And it's just like, oh my fucking god. You're so lucky I don't know fucking jack shit about any of this, or else I would low-key be like, low-key, boo. Like, this is kind of lame. I mean, no, obviously it's like not a defense to him, obviously. Like, he's, you know, dude's actually really cool, but I'm just like, man, not a fan of this shit, bro. It's like, I'm barely, like, you know, being alright with it as it is, which is how some of this shit is. Like, I just do not care. I mean, you know, but, you know, he can obviously be into whatever he is, you know, whatever he wants, you know, it's whatever. But still, it's just like, ugh. I certainly just, I'm so done hearing about it, and he just will not shut up about it. It's just like, bro, come on, dude. It's like, come on, bro. I know you're into it pretty hardcore, but man, like, not everyone is that into it like you are.
Those movies where it's like a lot of fan base is pleased by this, but a lot of people that have, you know, are just more like looking at it critically, or just like, this is shit. It looks shitty. It seemed bad. I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't imagine myself ever going to see this. Like, maybe I'll watch it when it's on Prime or VOD for free, just to see how bad it is.
Yeah,
I guess I would too.
Like,
maybe torrent it.
Like, oh
if I give enough a fuck.
It's just goofy to me. And I really think the reason why people are going to this and gobbling it up so much is because, like, over the last 10, 15
The Rock.
years or whatever the fuck, they've been trained to expect, like, a new superhero thing every fucking month or whatever. And they're just, like, now that, like, Marvel isn't cranking them out as fast as it used to, they're just so starved for anything that they're gonna go see this stupid fucking shit.
Well, you know, I mean, you talk about something like Grease Trap, which is how, like, the movie format, well, I don't want to say it's a dying format. It's not as popular as it used to be. So it's like, I'd say maybe a format in decline. So it's like, you basically have studios that only want to do, especially for tentpole movies, like, surefire things. Like, oh, and these superhero movies have proven just time and time again, you can make basically a mid-tier quality but big budget blockbuster superhero movie, and you'll probably be successful and make a bunch of money. Like, I don't know what it is. I think it's probably just the fact it translates so well internationally. Like, I guess there's just enough of that element to it where it's like they're just internationally very palatable and just very profitable. But unfortunately, the thing that suffered about that is we have very few original projects coming out in the cinematic space. And it's like, you know, like, just looking at August, the movies are coming out, like, because I like to go to the movies. Like, I definitely enjoy going. And it's like,
I miss going to
It was
movies,
maybe
honestly.
6 or 7 weeks before I saw anything that I even approached wanting to see. And I'm like, that's kind of crazy to me. Like, this is the summertime. Like, I should be just loaded down with shit. And I was like,
Sure, right? Yeah, for real.
A drought of anything I really had any interest in seeing.
Yeah.
Which is kind of lame.
I kind of feel the same way, man. Like, Amelia and I think, are going to go this weekend and see a movie. But, we've looked at, like, what's playing, and I'm just kind of like,
I'm going to see I know you would want to see this, but I'm going to see a showing of Spirited Away.
Oh, well, I mean, look, dude, I actually like Spirited Away, and
I actually do too. I like
Spirited
that.
Away on
I like
the
that
big
movie.
screen than, like,
It's a nice movie.
that's out right now.
See Black Adam, Paul. Black
No.
Oh my
Adam.
god.
No.
See, there's
No,
somebody
can't
right
do
there.
it.
There's a person right there. That's basically the equivalent of my coworker. It's like, see it. I'm going to talk about it earnestly. Please give me an excuse to talk about it. It's like, oh my god. I mean, it's. I mean, I like my coworker, but that is super hyper into Marvel. But oh my god, dude, he just loves to talk about it a lot. It's just like chill. It's like chill, dude.
Out. Even if you like, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna do it. You got your popcorn, you got your Coke and all that. You sit down in the seat. You're like, the credits are gonna start rolling. You're like, nope, You just have to run out of the fucking theater. You're like, I can't do it.
You know, I know All Quiet on the Western Front is a film that's probably going to come out. I wonder if that's something that's coming out in theaters. Because if so, then I'm certainly wanting to see that. But if not, I'm wondering where it's streaming on. Because I definitely want to see that film for sure. And honestly, like, that movie would definitely be better to be on a movie screen. So I hope that comes out soon. If it hasn't yet. Because if not, I probably might try to see it this weekend also.
Myself, I can't do it again. Because you know why? You know why you can't fucking do it? It's because you've already done it before so many times. Like, I've gotten your money so many times. We've seen this movie so many fucking times. It's just like the new freaking Stroke session. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I've seen this before. It's been done to death. Is he a hero? Is he a villain? Nobody knows. It's Black Adam. It's crazy. It's like,
But
oh,
this
God.
time he's The Rock, Scotty. That
He's The
doesn't
Rock
suck you
now.
into that fucking theater, Scotty.
Come
This
on.
time,
He's Rock.
you're generic.
Hey.
Helps me.
By this
You wanna
point,
see it
latex,
now?
It helps me from movies at this point.
spandex singlet wearing fucking superhero that might be an anti-hero is The Rock this time, though. So,
Oh my god.
I really...
Dude, I swear, all they're doing, it basically, if this fucking movie is like, just essentially like, scratching the itch of like superhero nerds and also creating, people who are gonna be more into like this weird spandex feshy shit because they're gonna be like, oh, The Rock, oh, all muscly on it. Like, dude, I just already know. Because it was the same thing with Black Panther. Like, I know. It's back when I was on Twitter, had a Twitter and shit, there was a few times I unfortunately stumbled on some things I wish I didn't. And it's like, man, I didn't need to see Black Panther's Panther, okay? Like, I didn't need to know that was a addition to his suit. Like, fuck, God, why?
I can't deal with it.
But it's
good,
gonna be the same for this. It's like, fuck, God, no.
If you're like a continued hungry fan of the woe-begotten modern superhero.
Yeah, the infantile gruel that Hollywood keeps shoveling down your fucking throat. If you love it, hey, you know what? Might as well keep sucking it down. But as far as we're concerned, it's fucking trash.
Yeah, Marvel movies.
Here you go. Here you go.
I love it.
Oh, yep, there it is. I loved it.
Always love watching you guys' old content. However, go Paul's crazy and doesn't know what he's talking about. And then 3 years later, seeing the cycle happen again. This Ukraine thing is the next cycle. Oh yeah, it's a constant thing. And you know where those people go once they've like quietly limped over to my side of the argument and start pretending like it was theirs all along? They disappear from my life. They're nowhere to be found until they've got the next bad take.
Yeah, they're waiting in the wings. Like, what could be my next terrible take? I don't know.
What next controversial contrarian thing that I could do to ride the wave now?
On it.
I love Peyton, dude. Of course you loved it, Peyton. It's The Rock. You know what I mean? How you not gonna love it?
Of course.
Naturally paid dash.
God love it.
That's cool.
What's this?
So I'm looking here. I think we're about. Is our goal 250 or is it 200?
I was kind of seeing what the fuck that was. It's a damn heat from the Senate. Oh boy. Oh, I bet it is. Oh, I bet it is. Oh my goodness. Anyway. Probably at least chill for the onion nugs for that one at least. Just gotta peer in for a little bit of their news and shit. No, honestly, all in all, there really ain't too much shit on the tube anyway, as it is. And I feel like that was basically the general gist of the major, like, interesting news of the day. Just kind of giving a quick little peruse, just kind of calling to say. I don't know this much. I tuned in at least, you know, on my last week for a little bit when they were delving in, like, their last little bit of shit, and unfortunately they did not make their fucking public freakouts goal, and I was like, oh, because I love public freakouts. But I feel like a lot of them would have been the ones I've seen before, because I know I've seen, you know, a few of them here and there, checking out public freakouts recently. But, oh my god, yep, pretty much, like, not much on tube whatsoever. Gotta love it. Santa Hall, wake up, new why I left it left. That video just dropped. Oh, it's Tulsi Gabbard on thumbnail. Well, she dropped that a while ago. A little late to the party there, Santa Hall. Late to the party on that one there, buddy. Let's see here. Yeah, there's so much fucking shit about Kanye West going fucking unhinged and batshit insane. I am just fucking done with that. It's like, you know, it's like, hey, you know, he's went off the deep end. He's an anti-Semitic, fascist, Nazi fuck. Like, we get it. I mean, he's mentally unhinged. I mean, it's like, I'm done for now. But of course, alas, it's just a big new fucking thing for everyone to freak the fuck out over right now. But it's not string too much. Yeah, it's on the tube, pal. I'll get my last little bowl loaded up here and call it good. Oh yeah, that's not empty dog bag. What the fuck was that, dog? Your little moany groans, bro. Look at you. You look like a fucking little, like, you look like you just, like, lost all sense of bones. Well, not anymore. I guess now you regained that. But you look like a smushed out ball. It's like, I'm a dog and I got no bones. I'm just gonna be all plop. Nothing but pure plop. Nom nom nom. You sweet little sleepy baby. Sleepy little thing. God, he was not the fuck out. It is so cute. It is just so cute and adorable. Anyway. I'll call it good for the rest of the lovely little evening, so peace out. And of course, I should be back around for the